Chapter 21. Me writing this at 2 in the night after scrapping it 2 times, straight face. XX. What do you mean you are going to train him? Jiraiya questioned. I was going to take him on a training trip. He stated. Well, you were going to take him. But, now you are not. Tsunade said, unmoving. Hey, come on. He is a sage, there is no better teacher for him than I. Jiraiya said. He is already a better sage than you, all he needs is better control over his chakra. And, I don't want him to end up a pervert like you too. She stated. Whoa there, I am no ordinary pervert. I am Great Jiraiya-sama, the super pervert. He said, now out of habit. Yes, you are definitely not getting him. Tsunade said. A cloud of depression formed over Jiraiya. Why would you do this to me? He cried out. Because I feel like it. Now, get lost. And, if I see you near the hot springs again, you will be dead meat. She said, dismissing him. Fine, I will go. But, remember Tsunade, this is a huge responsibility. We do not know what the Akatsuki are planning to do with the bijou, but it cannot be anything good. He said, dumping his childish persona. I know that. And, I am going to prepare him for all he is going to face. I am not going to let him die too. She said, every bit as serious as Jiraiya. Well, I suppose you get what you want, princess. See you later then. He said and disappeared in a poof of smoke. XX. Chakra control is a much neglected part of training by the majority of shinobi. No matter how many jutsus you know of, no matter how many S-rank techniques you have stuffed in your mind, if you lack the chakra control to perform them, you will either not be able to perform the technique, or die due to sudden loss of chakra. Tsunade explained. It is a common misconception that people with large reserves of chakra cannot have better control. I hail from 2 clans which are known for their chakra vitality and large reserves. The Senju and the Uzumaki. And, I have control over my chakra to such an extent that I do not waste a single drop of chakra while performing any technique. And, as my student, that is what is expected of you. She said. Understood, Tsunade-sama. I will do my best. Naruto replied. That is what I expect from you. Now, tell me what all chakra control exercises do you know of? Tsunade ordered. I started off with the leaf balance exercise, followed by tree walking and water walking. And, I don't know if this counts as a chakra control exercise, but I have this mastered too. Naruto said, forming a purple ball of chakra in his hand. Yes, the Rasengan. It is, indeed, considered a chakra control exercise. Well, Shizun will start you off with the advanced exercises. I will see your progress at the end of the day. She said, prompting Naruto to follow Shizun. XX. You did exceptionally good for your first day. I was not expecting your chakra control to be this good. Shizun complimented. Ah, thanks. Naruto said, not used to the praise. XX. Tired? Shizun questioned. Very. Naruto said, falling onto his couch. Ah, I suppose Tsunade-sama is not going easy on you. Shizun said. Yeah, I am inclined to believe that she is going extra hard on me. Naruto said. Well, you have a target of becoming a proper S-rank in 2 years, don't you? She said, defining the reason why he was suffering through this hell in simple words. Indeed. But, I am gonna sleep now. You can stay over if you want. Naruto said, falling asleep instantly after. Well, that is surely an opportunity. Shizun told to herself. XX. Ah, look at you growing. Finally a jonin. You are well on your way to become one of the finest that the leaf has produced. Tsunade said, hugging him. No biggie, really. But, you are to thank for this too. I am really grateful for everything you have done for me. Naruto said. He was still not used to hugs, or any sort of physical contact, really. But, that did not mean that he did not enjoy it. Is that so? Then how about you treat me to a few drinks? Tsunade said, smirking. A sigh left Naruto's lips. Really? He said. Indeed. Tsunade replied. Well, whatever you say. Naruto said. XX. Say, Shizun, are you free tonight? Naruto questioned. Why do you ask? I was wondering if you want to join me for dinner tonight? Naruto questioned. Ah, are you asking me out on a date, Naruto? Shizun questioned, trying to rile him up. You can call it a date, yes. Naruto replied, not responding to the teasing. Well, I am certainly free tonight. Why not then? It is a date. Shizun said. A date it is, then. Naruto replied. XX. So, Sasuke, how far are you willing to go to have your revenge? A slimy voice questioned. It really does not concern you. Do what you are here to do and train me. Sasuke said. Well, that is the first thing we will need to correct. After all, discipline is a very important trait for a shinobi. The same voice said. When you talk to me with respect. If you don't, the seal on your neck is as much a time bomb as it is a power boost. He said. Ah, Orochimaru-sama. It seems like you have terrified the boy. A female voice said. True to what she had said, Orochimaru's presence was spread thickly in the room and Sasuke was stuck, seemingly terrified. You know how it is, Giran-chan. I have to keep my subordinates in their place. Orochimaru said. Why of course, Orochimaru-sama. Giran said. XX. It has been a long time, hasn't it? Naruto questioned. In the dark recesses of his mind, a blood-red eye shot open. It has indeed been, as you say, a long time. And, I could not be any more glad. The voice growled. Now, is it that you have grown to be happy with your isolation? Naruto questioned. If your puny mind cannot understand the difference between being isolated and being caged, maybe I overestimated you. The same voice said. You know how it is, Kyuubi. I like to joke around. Naruto said. Meaningless conversation. Why are you here? The Kyuubi questioned. Just roaming around. It is my mind, you know? Naruto said. Your mind, you say? Do you, perhaps, want me to leave? You know I can do that since the seal is broken, do you not? The Kyuubi questioned. Whoa there, slow down, I am just playing around. No need to tear me down. Naruto said. XX. Will you stop staring at me? Naruto questioned. Were you not staring at him when you killed him? Temari questioned. Temari had become the Suna representative in Konoha. So, she was around a lot. But, it was the first time that Naruto was meeting her since the infamous Chunin exams. He was innocent, handed a bad hand. And you just killed him. Temari scoffed out. Sure, let me release the Kyuubi on Suna just because I was handed a bad hand. Will you try to keep me alive then? Naruto questioned. You speak as if you actually did something to help him. I, at least, gave him freedom from being considered a weapon. He continued drilling into her. He was not going to take such taunts from a foreign nin. Temari did not have any reply to this. So, she just waited for the Kazekage to arrive and drown in her guilt, internally of course. XX. Hey Shizune. Naruto called her. They were currently on his couch, watching a show and enjoying their meal. Shizune questioned, her mouth stuffed with food. I think I love you. He said. XX. Chapter 22. So, Shizune, how is Naruto doing? Tsunade questioned in a sly voice. And, well, Shizune went red. Apparently, Shizune was a heavy blusher, it just never came out before because, well, Shizune had never dated anyone before. Come on, it's almost been a year and you still blush when he is mentioned. Tsunade said, sighing. Well, don't mention him then. She sputtered out. Come on. Don't be like that. You've got to tell me the details. She said, unmoving. Mind your own business. Shizune shouted, red from her ears to neck. Fine, is he done with his training? Tsunade questioned, not mocking her anymore. I suppose he is done. I am not sure, though. Shizune replied. Before the conversation could go any further, the man in question, Naruto, entered the room. Hey there, Tsunade, Shizune. I am done with my workout for the day. He said, hugging Shizune from behind. His chin resting comfortably on her head. How many times have I told you to not do this here? Shizune shouted, indignant. Well, this is the only time I heard it properly. You always squeak out such things, so I pretend that I didn't hear anything. Naruto said. Well, what has you riled up today? Naruto questioned. Maybe she was thinking naughty things about you. Tsunade said, a sly smile gracing her face again. Is that so? Naruto questioned. And no, nothing like that. She said, realizing that no one could understand her, she took a deep breath and said, let me go now, I have work to do. Well, sure. You can go. Naruto said, moving from behind her. Grabbing the opportunity, Shizune stormed out of the room. Once she was gone, the conversation begun again. Well, I am afraid that we are on such a point now that I don't have anything else to teach you, Naruto. You've come so far from the puny little Chunin you were before. And, I could not have been any more proud. Tsunade said, affection dripping from her voice. You have done enough, Tsunade-sama. I am very thankful for what you have done for me. I could not be more grateful if I tried. He said. A brilliant smile graced Tsunade's face, and Naruto knew what was gonna come next. XX. Surely, this is as divine as places get in the elemental nations. Tsunade said, a bottle of sake in her hand. You say that in every bar we go. Naruto replied, now used to her antics. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But, this is great. She said, raising the bottle in her hand. There is no maybe. I know it for a fact that you do. Naruto replied, raising his bottle to acknowledge the cheers. Well, anyways, what have you thought about the Akatsuki? Tsunade questioned. What is there to think? They are out to kill me, so I am out to kill them all in kind. Naruto replied. Of course you are out to kill them. But, you cannot go barging in to fight the whole of the Akatsuki alone. Tsunade said, sighing. Well, we know it for a fact that they will have to start with the one-tailed beast. And, of what I know, it was reincarnated in the deserts of Suna, like, a year ago. Naruto said. Indeed. Suna has not been able to produce someone who can bear the full might of the Shikaku. Tsunade said. Well then, why not ask Suna Shinobi to keep guard on the area? If they notice any suspicious happenings, they can instantly send a messenger bird to inform us. Naruto offered. That is a feasible idea. I will see what I can do. Well, regardless, we will be heading to Suna tomorrow anyways. I have to make some trade deals official with the new Kazekage. Tsunade said. And indeed, Naruto, as Tsunade's student, had been with Tsunade on every political shenanigans. Along with Shizune, of course. She being there was not the reason though. It was not. The new Kazekage? Naruto questioned. The position of the Kazekage, unlike any other, has been hereditary in Suna. Baki becoming the Kazekage was not a rule, but an exception. Since Temari is now deemed strong enough to become the Kazekage, Baki will be stepping down now. Tsunade explained. That is, well, you know, a bit weird. A hereditary Kage, I mean. There are always other deserving candidates, you know? Naruto said. It is, indeed. But, we cannot do anything about that. Well, how about we start with the drinks now? Tsunade said, ordering more drinks out of Naruto's pocket. XX. You haven't been around lately. Mom has been asking about you, you know? It has almost been 2 years since you last met her. Ino said. You know how it is, Ino. More often than not, I end up sleeping in the training ground itself. But, since my training has been marked as completed, I am sure I can be around more often. He said. Well, that's good. How about tomorrow then? Ino questioned. Sorry, but I have to leave for Suna early tomorrow. Naruto said. Ah, I see. Later then, I guess. Ino said. XX. Walking toward Suna, Naruto was already feeling bored. While walking in a desert, precision was really necessary. And it was really hot in the afternoon. And he could not even talk unless he wanted sand in his mouth, as there was a sandstorm ongoing. He really hated the sandstorm right now. Well, regardless of the quite hot and sandstorm-filled journey, the travel remained uneventful. They had made it to Suna in a day. Since there were no ANBU accompanying them, Naruto would just carry Shizune when she got tired, and Naruto and Tsunade had enough stamina to get to Suna and go back to Konoha without stopping. So, there was no need for stopping anywhere. And well, they were at the gates of Suna in record time. Hello, Hokage Dano. The newly minted Kazekage said. Greetings, Kazekage Dano. Tsunade said, in kind. I hope the journey went without any issues. Temari said. Indeed. We reached here without any problems. Tsunade said. That is great to hear. These shinobi will lead you to your rooms. We will let you know of the timings of our meeting. I hope you enjoy our hospitality. Temari said, prompting the jonin behind her to bow. Of course, we will be in your care. Tsunade said. XX. Are you going to bring up the one-tailed beast in the meeting with the Kazekage? Naruto questioned. Yes, we don't have any time to spare now. Tsunade said. The three of them with Taunton were currently in a large room provided for them. It was a luxurious room with 3 full-sized beds. Tsunade was rechecking the papers she had brought for the meeting, while Naruto was resting on Shizune's lap with Taunton on his stomach. Shizune was combing through Naruto's red locks, trying to give it another style. And, you think they will let us interfere with such an internal matter? Naruto questioned. I am pretty sure they will. And, if they don't, we will engage the Akatsuki on our own accord. She said. I see. Naruto said, and everyone fell into silence. XX. It was dark. A dark cave. Well, that's the best guess one could make. In between the cave, stood 9 holographic figures, each dressed in a similar attire. Black cloaks and red clouds over them. It is about time we begin with our operations. A heavy voice said. The speaker had deep, purple eyes, orange hair and piercings all over his face. We still do not have a proper partner for me. Zetsu is not a fighter and cannot support me in any way. Another voice said. Yes, Zetsu was your partner only in words. For your missions, Toby will be your partner from now on. The initial voice said. Woohoo! Toby would love to work with Kakuzu-senpai. Toby squealed. He is hardly any better than Zetsu. Kakuzu said. There is a reason why he is here. He will carry his own weight. The initial voice stated. Well, I will take your word for it, then. Kakuzu said. As I was saying, it has been confirmed by Zetsu that the one and the three-tailed beasts have been reformed. Deidara, Sasori, the pair of you will depart to capture the one-tailed beast. The purple-eyed man said. The one-tailed beast? Sure. Deidara said. Yes. Sasori stated. Forgive my man Sasori. He is not much of a speaker. Deidara said to everyone. I can speak for myself, Deidara. Sasori stated, his voice heavy as ever. Well, if you say so. Deidara said, chuckling. XX. I hope you enjoyed our hospitality, Hokage-sama. The Kazekage said. Of course. We are honored to receive such a warm welcome. The Hokage replied. The meeting room of the Sunagakure was very Suna-like. It looked like it was themed after a desert. The walls were dirt brown, the table was oak brown and the glasses on the table followed the theme too. The honor is all ours, Hokage Dano. Temari said. Well then, shall we get to the business in hand? Tsunade questioned. Of course. Temari replied, prompting Tsunade to begin. First off, we are yet to finalize our trade route through the wave. XX. We hope we can keep our relations very active. Temari said. Indeed. It would a waste to let everything go after making such crucial decisions. Tsunade replied. Well, will that be all, Hokage Dano? Temari questioned. Actually, no. I have another issue to talk about. Tsunade said. And what might that be? Temari questioned. You know of the Akatsuki, yes? Tsunade questioned in kind. I do, yes. They are after the bijou if I am not wrong. Temari said. Indeed. Since they are our common enemies, Konoha would formally like to offer her shinobi to help protect the one-tailed beast. Tsunade offered. The Akatsuki is, indeed, a common enemy. Even though Suna has set up guard camps near Shikaku, if two S-ranks want to do it, they would kill them all. So, Suna will graciously accept your most generous offer. Temari said. XX. Well, that went better than expected. Shizun said. Yeah, it went smoothly enough. Tsunade replied. Well, it was not like we were expecting any problems. It is not like Suna has allies in bulk. Naruto said. That is true too. But, having the title of one of the 5 great villages can fuel a lot of ego. Tsunade said. Just like having the title of one of the legendary 3, right? Naruto mock questioned, smirking. Yeah, you just wait. I am going to have you do 1,000 D-rank missions now. Tsunade said, just shy of bursting into laughter. That is not half bad. That would be a great vacation. Naruto said, adopting a thinking pose. Before they could talk any further, a sand shinobi came rushing in, reporting to the Kazekage who was still in the meeting room. But, he was loud enough to be heard by the whole of the populace. Lady Kazekage! We have spotted the red clouds! He exclaimed. Well, Naruto, I suppose it is time to check how far you have come in these 3 years. Tsunade said, smirking. XX. Chapter 23. Sasori, do we have a plan? Or are we going to blast the whole desert, Deidara questioned. And, well, are you sure we are going towards the right direction? He asked again. The Akatsuki duo was currently heading towards where the one-tailed beast was suspected to be, traveling on a large, white bird. We do have a plan, yes. You will use the seal I will give you to make the beast unconscious and use your birds to carry it away. I will be taking care of the guard dogs. I will hold my position for a while to make sure that no one is following us. Till then, you will already be at a safe distance from the fighting scene. Sasori said, explaining the plan. Why do you get to have all the fun? Deidara questioned. I am letting you fight the one-tailed beast alone, is that not enough? Sasori said, handing him the seal in question. Well, when you say that, you make me sound greedy, I suppose I will do it, then. Deidara said. Land here. Sasori ordered. At this point, the gigantic figure of the one-tailed beast was visible. It was just moving around, causing havoc with its movement alone. It almost looked like a child, running around aimlessly. Once the bird was landed, Sasori threw a rock towards a bush to distract the nearby Suna shinobi. As the Suna shinobi entered the isolation of the sand dunes and bushes, a sanban went through his neck. Quickly attaching strings to the dead shinobi's body, Sasori cleaned the blood and used the dead body as a puppet. XX. Hey, Hoki, what was there? Another shinobi questioned. Hello? He tried again. But, to his dismay, no answer came. Are you Al-? Before the sentence could be completed, there was a senbon passing through his neck, in a rather familiar fashion. All the other guards surrounding the beast were given similar deaths. XX. Get to your work, Deidara. Sasori stated. Hi. Deidara said and took into the air. Holding a lot of clay structures, he threw them all down, on Shikaku. Curious about this new substance falling on him, the one-tailed beast tilted his gigantic head. What is this? He questioned in a deep voice, trying to take hold of the substance falling on him. Art is an explosion. Deidara said, causing all the clay to blast. The knockback effect of the clay at such close proximity caused even the one-tailed beast to fall on its rear. Seeing the opportunity and grabbing the chance, Deidara jumped down from his bird, straight towards the downed beast, seal in hand. Wind style, wind bullet. The tailed beast exclaimed, sensing the danger. As the large wind bullets were launched at Deidara, he had to change his trajectory. Summoning his clay bird again, he took into air once more. Now, fully aware of the danger, Shikaku summoned a large blob of sand to do his bidding. The sand shot off towards Deidara, capturing him fully. Sand coffin. Shikaku said, willing the sand to squeeze him to death. It did squeeze, but no blood came out. Regardless, a large explosion did come out. Looking around for his enemy, the one-tailed beast was not expecting someone to fall on his head. So, when Deidara did, he was caught off guard. Slapping the seal on the beast's head, Deidara took a breath of relief. Now, he could just carry it off. XX. I am off, my man Sasori. Deidara said, cheerfully. The one-tailed beast being dragged by two clay birds. But, before Sasori could reply, he had to dodge a purple blur. Back up? Sasori questioned, flipping back to a comfortable distance. Maybe. Who knows? Naruto said. Well, conversations apart, I have a tailed beast to rescue. So, can you let me be? Naruto questioned. No can do. You are Naruto Uzumaki, Jinchuriki of the nine-tailed beast, are you not? Sasori questioned. Maybe, who knows? Naruto replied. Well then, it looks like we are getting two in one day. Sasori said, flipping backwards and hunching forward in an awkward stance. Wanting to test his opponent's speed, Naruto released a barrage of kunai towards the awkwardly hunched shinobi. To his astonishment, Sasori did not dodge. The kunai grazed his cloak and tore through it, causing it to fall off of his body. And well, now Sasori's posture made sense. He was crouching on all fours, a metal tail waving behind him, compartments visible on his face and body. You are one ugly human. Naruto said. At this point, I am hardly a human. Sasori replied. As he said that, his mouth opened to impossible proportions and a barrage of senbon launched through it. Dodging the pointy weapons, Naruto caught one between his fingers. Analyzing the substance on top of the senbon while simultaneously dodging the senbon, Naruto concluded that they were coated in cobra venom. And yes, they were very deadly for the chakra system. Deciding that the senbon shall not grace his body, Naruto flipped back and willed 4 chains from his back, rotating them to form a temporary shield to deflect all the senbon. Concluding that smashing him was the only viable option, Naruto flickered towards his opponent. With chakra concentrated in the center tenketsu point of his palm, he made contact with his opponent. And, boom! A large crater formed on the ground, shattering the body into millions of pieces. But, contrary to what he had thought, the match was not over yet. Through the shattered body, another body came out, dressed in a pitch-black cloak, blue strings visible from his fingertips. Damn, who are you now? Naruto questioned. I am the master, what you destroyed was just a puppet. Sasori said, dramatically pulling the cloak from his body. And well, the dramaticness was worth it, because, out came a young man, probably Naruto's age, with red hair and brown eyes. Well, since you have pushed me this far, I will show you a piece of my art that gave me actual struggle while collecting it. He said, unscrolling the scroll in his hand. Once the content of the scroll was released, there stood a tall man. He had blue hair, yellow eyes and was dressed in a brown rag. The third Kazekage, is he not? Naruto questioned. He was the third, yes. But now, he is just an art in my collection. Sasori said, launching the puppet of the Kazekage towards Naruto. Seeing the puppet transform its arms into blades, Naruto flipped back to avoid getting poisoned. Only when Sasori thought that he was having an advantage and he could win the fight using the iron sand release of the Kazekage, purple, glowing chains burst out from the ground around the puppet of the Kazekage. And, before he could react, a purple ball of chakra formed over each chain in an instant and drilled into the body of the Kazekage. Once the smoke was settled, all that remained of the puppet Kage was dust. This angered Sasori a lot. And, if his stoic face could express any emotions, it would have been scowling right now. Do you understand what you have done? My flawless art which took years upon years to construct, and you destroyed it. Sasori said, unable to provide justice to his emotions due to his permanently stitched face. Did you expect cherry blossoms in a fight? Naruto countered. Well, regardless, your body will be a worthy replacement for the loss you have caused. Sasori said. With that said, Sasori started to remove his cloak. Slowly but surely revealing the horrendous things he had done to his body. The most visible were the segments on his chest, just like a puppet. The left side of his chest had a cylindrical structure embedded in it, his stomach was open, through which a metal wire had come out. From his back, 2 metal rods were peeking out, which further divided into blades. Naruto could instantly feel the abundance of chakra in the cylindrical structure and the lack of chakra in his rest of the body. So, he had his target. Without wasting any time, Sasori rose his hands, out of which 2 pipes peeked out. And, from them, fire started to spray. Earth style, earth wall. Naruto said, defending himself from the flames. Seizing the opportunity, Sasori sent the poison-clad wire of his towards the earth wall to pierce through it. Sensing the wire approaching, he let it stab through the wall. Jumping over the wall, he grabbed the wire from one hand and pulled Sasori towards him. On his other hand, a small purple sphere of chakra formed, 1/10 of the size of his original Rasengan. But, its size was not its only uniqueness. From the small sphere, 4 shuriken-like blades were protruding, generating a whistling sound. As soon as Sasori reached him, he slammed the ball of chakra into the left side of Sasori's chest and separated his head from his body at the same time, using his chains, of course. Wind style, mini Rasen shuriken. He said as he jumped back. And, as soon as he landed back, the small ball of chakra enlarged and engulfed the whole body of his enemy. Breaking him from every possible angle, never to be seen again. Conforming that there were no more tricks and tired of using his sage mode to such an extent, he willed his purple chakra to sink down, tapping into his usual state. And, as soon as he was done with transforming back, Tsunade, followed by the Kage and her ANBU battalion arrived there. What happened? Tsunade questioned. Sasori of the Red Sand engaged me in a fight, I managed to kill him. He said, raising the head he had separated to full view. But, his partner managed to drag Shikaku away. He concluded. Well then, we need to follow him. The Kage butted in. Of course. He went down south. Naruto said. XX. Sasori is no longer in the possession of the ring. An authoritative voice said. Is he dead then, Pain-sama? Zetsu questioned. What happened, Deidara? Pain questioned. I don't know. He looked fine to me last I saw him. Deidara replied. Regardless, since you are the only one physically present there, you will escape now. We cannot afford to lose 2 of our ranks in just one day. Pain ordered. Whatever you say. I am off then, Deidara said, preparing to leave. The rest of us will begin to extract the one-tailed beast's chakra. Itachi, Kisame, the 2 of you will use the shape-shifting technique to delay the rescue team. Pain ordered. Yeah. Kisame said and Itachi just nodded. XX. Chapter 24. Only one review on the previous chapter? That's disappointing, uneasy face. Well, regardless, here goes the next one. XX. Running towards the large pathway created by the body of Shikaku being dragged, the team consisting of Naruto, Tsunade, Temari and her ANBU platoon, Naruto was pretty confident of their victory. But, that was only until he saw a pair of 2 standing in their way. One was a short black-haired man with stress lines running on his face and the other was a tall, well-built man who was blue in color. Itachi Uchiha, the big bad Genjutsu boogeyman of the elemental nations, and Hoshigaki Kisame, the tailless-tailed beast. Naruto could recognize them from their appearance, but not from their chakra. The last time he saw them, the blue guy had so much chakra that he could at least rival the one-tailed beast in the sheer amount of it. And, as insignificant as Itachi's chakra amount felt in front of his, it was nothing to scoff at. But, right now, it felt like they barely had any chakra compared to their past selves. From the amount of chakra you possess, it looks like you are on the verge of dying. Naruto said, as the rescue squad stopped in front of the Akatsuki duo. What sort of jutsu is this? Naruto questioned again. I don't think we will share any sort of information with you. Itachi said, pointing his fingers towards Naruto, his eyes blazing red. Sorry, but these elementary tricks are a bit too old school now. Naruto said, his native sage chakra not letting Itachi's genjutsu take effect. Maybe not on you. But, the people behind you are not like you, Itachi said. And, true to his words, the Kazekage and her squad collapsed in a thud. It is a 2v2 then, Hokage-sama, Naruto said, falling into his fighting stance. I suppose. I will take the blue one, Tsunade said, and rushed to engage the said blue guy. Not wanting to exert his body anymore by overusing his Sage mode, Naruto stayed in his base form. If push came to shove, he would just tap into his partial transformation to preserve his body for the next inevitable fights. Regardless, with the amount of chakra this Itachi had, he probably would not be a big threat. Not as big as Sasori had been, at least. Fire style, Phoenix Flower Jutsu, Itachi said, releasing a bunch of small fireballs. Earth style, Earth Dragon Jutsu, Naruto exclaimed, forming a dragon made of earth who protected him from all the attacks and proceeded towards Itachi. Fire style, Fireball Jutsu, Itachi said, blowing up the dragon's head. In response to this, Naruto concentrated his chakra in his hand, and punched the ground, causing the ground below to ripple and form earth spikes towards Itachi. Trying to dodge the attack, Itachi leaped into the air. And, as soon as he did that, 2 chains erupted from the ground and bounded his legs. Now, bound and stuck in mid-air, he could do nothing against the Rasengan that Naruto had thrusted into his stomach. Just when Naruto thought that fight was over, the Itachi he had struck dissolved into crows. You have certainly improved, Itachi said from behind him, a kunai on his neck. But not good. Inu dashed up. Itachi was cut off when the body in front of him glowed white and exploded. Exploding shadow clone, Naruto said, rising from the ground. Yeah, now he was sure that this was not actually Itachi. No S rank would fall for this. And, well, the body that remained was not of Itachi. XX. So, how was it? Naruto questioned. He was not actually Kisame. He was using someone else's body to channel a tiny amount of his powers through it, Tsunade said. Same with Itachi, Naruto said. Well, regardless, let's wake them up now, Naruto continued, looking towards the downed Suna shinobi. Kai, Naruto and Tsunade said simultaneously, touching the downed shinobi and wavering their chakra. What happened? Temari questioned, instantly waking up. You fell into a genjutsu, Tsunade said. And, what of the Akatsuki? Temari questioned. They were using some technique to project themselves into another's body. We defeated them quickly enough since they lacked the original's full power, Tsunade said. Well, regardless, she continued, we must keep moving. Tsunade concluded. Yes, we should, Temari said, preparing to leap. Hold it, we can fly from now on, Naruto said, biting his thumb. A summon? Why didn't you use it before? Temari questioned. You wouldn't want to crash land because my summon got dust in its eyes, would you? Naruto said, slamming his hands down on the land. As the poof of smoke cleared, a large owl became visible. Please, carry us through this trail, Naruto said, pointing towards the large track formed by the one-tailed beast. As you order. Please get on my back, the owl said, getting as low as it could. XX. A seal? Tsunade said. Naruto along with the others were standing in front of a cave. The cave's entrance was covered with diagonal seals. The formation of the seals formed an X pattern with a circle in its center. It is a 4-point safety seal. All the 4 keys of the seal will have to be deactivated at the same time for this to open, Tsunade explained, analyzing the seal. I doubt we have enough time for that, Temari said. Don't worry. Every seal needs chakra to function. I will just absorb all the chakra from the seal, Naruto said, a chain erupting from his back. Touching the seal with the tip of his chain, Naruto began to drain the chakra from the seal. There was a lot of it, but eventually, the seal array shattered away. We are ready to go, Naruto said, and Tsunade launched a punch which shattered the opening of the cave. Entering in the cave, it looked massive. In the center of the cave, lay the one-tailed beast, visibly shorter than before. And, surrounding it, were 7 holographic figures. Realizing that the Akatsuki was trying to seal away Shikaku's chakra, Naruto lunged towards the seal array to destroy it. And, as the seal array was broken, the sealing consequently stopped. Naruto Uzumaki, a voice said. Meeting the purple gaze of the voice with his own golden ones, a certain heaviness settled in the cave. You won this time. But soon, I will be coming for you. And, mark my words, you will meet your end when the time comes, he said, and the holographic figures dissolved into nothingness. The cave had fallen into silence only for a second, after which a growl came out from Shikaku's throat. As small as the tailed beast had gotten, it was still terrifyingly bigger than the humans around it. Only on his survival instincts, a bunch of chains shot from Naruto's back and wrapped around the tailed beast, suppressing its chakra. Calm down. We are here to protect you, Naruto said, trying to calm the giant raccoon down. Naruto. A voice said in his head. Yes? Naruto asked. Enter into your mindscape. The voice said. I am currently busy, if you cannot see for yourself. Naruto replied. Just do as I said. The voice growled. Fine. Naruto huffed, closing his eyes and taking a cross-legged stance. Just as Naruto fell into a state of meditation, the raccoon calmed down too. XX. I swear, if anything goes wrong out there, you are dead meat, Kyuubi. Naruto said. If you stop shouting like a mindless ape and look around you, you will realize what happened. The Kyuubi said. Following what the Kyuubi had said, he looked besides him and promptly fell on his rear. Why, you ask? Because there was the one-tailed beast besides him. And it was looking quite pissed. You did not seal me inside of you, did you? Shikaku growled. He did not. As things are, he is bound to me. The Kyuubi said. Kurama? Shikaku questioned. Ha 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 ha. The beast fell into historical laughter. It is so great to see the great nine-tailed beast in the clutches of a human. Shikaku said, chuckling. Stop laughing like a lunatic. For your knowledge, I can break out of here at any time. But, I chose to be here. The Kyuubi said. And, why would that be? Shikaku questioned, not believing the Kyuubi. He is a sage, a perfect one. Not seen since the first and then, Hashirama. I am interested in seeing what he does firsthand. The Kyuubi said. A sage, you say? Shikaku asked. Yes. He actually used senjutsu to fight your previous jailer. Kyuubi said. So this is the same brat who shortened my entertainment time back then. Shikaku said, narrowing his eyes. Shut up. The Kyuubi growled. You know what to do, don't you? The Kyuubi said. How do you know he is the one? Shikaku questioned. I do not. On the contrary, I am pretty sure that he is not the one that the sage had idealized. You have to accept that he was too optimistic. The last one, the first Hokage, used his powers to suppress us. He was too idealistic and his personality led to 3 wars and a century of us being prisoners. As things are, we lack time. Someone has discovered a way to seal us in the ghetto Mazo, and he is probably the only one who I can trust with those powers. The Kyuubi said. I see. The one-tailed beast said, looking at Naruto in a scrutinizing manner. Naruto, on the other hand, was completely out of the loop. He did not understand what the 2 beasts were talking about. And, apparently, the Kyuubi had a name. Kurama? Naruto asked. You never told me you had a name. Naruto said. You never asked for it. Regardless, that is not what we are here for. Kurama said. Then, why are we here? Naruto questioned. Shikaku. Kurama said. Fine fine. Shikaku huffed, raising his paw and making a fist of it. Realizing the gesture, Naruto bumped his fist with the giant raccoon. XX. It was quite an awkward scenario. 6 humans traveling on foot, followed by a giant raccoon, who was constantly growing in size. Shikaku had accepted to stay in the territory of Suna, provided that he would not be caged. And well, the Kazekage was not against it. So, here they were. Traveling with a walking calamity. XX. So, Kazekage-sama, how much do I get out of this? Naruto asked, summoning the head of Sasori in one hand and a bingo book in the other. 150,000, eh? That's a lot of money. Naruto said. Indeed. Temari said. Since you are associated with Konoha, the amount will be transferred to Konoha and you will be able to collect your money from there. Temari replied. Acceptable, Kazekage-sama. Naruto said, bowing. XX. Chapter 25. So, what was all that about? Naruto questioned. Did you notice those purple eyes of his? Kurama questioned. The one who stared at me? Naruto asked. Yes. His eyes are very special. Kurama said. Special how? Naruto questioned, once again. Those eyes, if in possession of the right man, are the pinnacle of power. They were first wielded by the Sage of 6 Paths, who used them to defeat the 10 Tails. Kurama explained. The Sage of 6 Paths? The 10 Tails? I thought they were just a myth. Naruto said, flabbergasted. He is, or was, very real. Well, that is not the point. If you noticed, the Akatsuki was not sealing Shikaku away. They were sealing his chakra in a bigger husk. The Geto Mazo or, when completed with chakra of all the 9-tailed beasts, the 10 tails. The husk of the Geto Mazo can only be summoned by one who wields the Rinnegan. I don't know about the others, but I do not wish to be contained inside of it. Kurama said. That is an ambitious dream you have. If those eyes are as strong as you say they are, how do you expect me to defeat him? Naruto questioned. Rinnegan is only a half of the sage's power. The other half of his immense powers existed due to his mastery of the sage mode. Kurama said. The sage mode? Like mine? Naruto asked. Yes, you are the perfect rival for a bearer of the Rinnegan. The yin and the yang, if you want to imagine it. But, your sage mode is not like the sage's was. His sage mode had unrivaled strength. But, I do not know the origin of those powers. The only possible way I can think of, is his being the Jinchuriki of all the Bijou. Hence, I want you to collect a sliver of chakra from all the other beasts. If what I think is true, your body will be able to regenerate and balance that chakra to give you an enhanced sage mode. The orange fox explained. And, you think the others will cooperate? Naruto questioned. He was questioning a lot today, he ideally noticed. They certainly will not. Some of them may still believe in the idle man that Sage had imagined to save them all. Shikaku only gave it to you because he is afraid of me, and honestly, dumb. But, you will have to take it with force if necessary, not only for my survival, but for yours too. Kurama said. I do not feel any different after absorbing Shikaku's chakra, though. Naruto said. I am not here to give away powers. I am the mediator between his powers and your chakra system. You will still have to prove your powers to me. Prove your worthiness. I will only release it in your chakra system when I deem you to be strong enough without it. Kurama said. A sigh left Naruto's lips. Yes, all this did sound a bit too sweet to be free. XX. It is quite rare to see you around nowadays. Tsunade said. Ah, you just need to think of me and, I will be here in a blink. Jiraiya replied. Shut it, you pervert. Why are you here anyways? Tsunade asked. I have news about Orochimaru's whereabouts. Jiraiya said, serious all of a sudden. And? Tsunade questioned. I am planning to deal with him once and for all. But, it is very likely that he would not be alone there. It is possible that he has already replaced his right-hand man, and, it is possible that even the Uchiha is with him. I don't know how strong the pair of them have gotten in these 3 years. So, I need a solid team for this mission. Jiraiya said. The Uchiha? Tsunade questioned, recalling the boy. His teammate, Sakura if I am not wrong, has been appealing to release a search squad for him. Maybe she will be good help for the mission? Her, and the rest of Team 7 may be good help. Kakashi has certainly grown strong, at least. Tsunade said. I am not taking Genin or Chunin on this. This will at least be a S rank. I was thinking more along the lines of Naruto. Jiraiya said. Naruto has recently asked to be sent on a diplomatic mission to Kumo for convincing them to form an alliance against the Akatsuki. So, I am afraid that he will not be available. Tsunade said. That is certainly disappointing. Regardless, I want to see how much stronger he has gotten. Can I meet him after our discussion is over? Jiraiya asked. Sure, he has moved in real close to my place. More often than not, he is at my place. Tsunade said. Why is that? Why has he moved in so close, I mean? Jiraiya asked. Well, his reason for moving was convenient training. But, it has become real handy place for him and Shizune to meet since they are dating. Tsunade explained. He is dating Shizune? Isn't she like 10 or so years older than him? Jiraiya questioned. Tsunade rose a delicate eyebrow. You leer at girls who can be considered your granddaughters. She said, her voice deadpan. Well, I suppose I have no room to speak. Regardless, let us get back to the topic. I will need a team, no doubt. Jiraiya said, drifting back to the topic. How about Kakashi and Yamato? Tsunade questioned. Yamato? Jiraiya asked. The one with the wood release. Tsunade replied. Was he not called Tenzo before? Jiraiya questioned. He has been given several names. The current one is Yamato. Tsunade replied. I suppose that would be a solid team. Jiraiya said. XX. Knock asterisk. Jiraiya was currently in front of Naruto's apartment, knocking for the 5th time. But, to his dismay, no one would open the door. Before he could tap on the door once more, a voice came from inside. Yes. Yes. I am coming. Stop knocking. What do you want? Naruto said while opening the door, looking irritated. Looking at the one standing in front of him, his mood did not turn any brighter. Naruto was looking disheveled. His red hair, messy. His t-shirt, missing. And his mood, sour. Oh did I interrupt something? Jiraiya questioned, a grin splitting his face. Yes. You did. What do you want? Naruto questioned, getting angry now. Well, I wanted to fight Ydashta. The door was shut in his face before he could complete the sentence. Young impatient brats not respecting their elders. Jiraiya grumbled, walking away from the apartment. He had to peep research now anyways. XX. Are you sure that you don't need anyone else? Tsunade questioned. Yes, we are not expecting any danger to begin with. And if push came to shove, I am sure that I can at least escape with Shizune. Naruto said. Oink. And Taunton, of course. Naruto said, a sweat drop appearing on his face. Well, if you say so. Be careful. Tsunade said. Of course. Oink. Naruto, Shizune and Taunton chorused. XX. Walking towards the Iron Country, Naruto felt like he was on a vacation rather than a mission. There was a very lenient time limit for the mission. So, Naruto and Shizune were just walking in silence, holding hands and enjoying their time in general. It was a perfect scenario and everything would have continued to be perfect if it wasn't for. Oink. Hungry? Shizune asked, caressing the pig's head in Naruto's arms. Oink. It said, opening its mouth wide. Shall we set the camp then? Shizune asked, looking around for a nice place to stay. I suppose. Naruto said. Well, it was almost night anyways, so they might as well take some rest. Naruto created 4 shadow clones to set up the camp and look over Taunton and Shizune while he himself went to search for food. Ideally, he would not leave himself, but there was something he wanted to check for himself. XX. Come out now, will you? Naruto said, seemingly to nobody. So, you can sense me? A deep voice said, from right behind Naruto. On instincts, 4 chains shot out from his back, right into the man's stomach. But, to his astonishment, no blood rushed out. Looking behind him, the chain had gone through the man's stomach, but it was looking like it had phased through it. Looking upwards, the man was dressed in the Akatsuki cloak and had an orange mask covering his face. Seeing the Akatsuki cloak, Naruto flipped backwards, creating some distance. Don't worry. I am not here to catch you, yet. The man said. So, why are you here then? Naruto questioned, still cautious. I just wanted to see how well you have grown. And, from the looks of it, you have grown pretty well. The man said. Why thank you. Killing the likes of you has been my only motivation through and through. Naruto said. Do not misunderstand. You are hardly a match for me as things are. I am here to warn you, I know what you are trying to do. Stay away from our goal, and you will be the last one to die. Get in our way, and I will finish you. The masked man said. Pretty big words you have there. Care to back it up? Naruto said. Not yet, no. As things are, you are necessary alive. But, remember, if you get in our way, I will show no mercy. With that said, the masked man disappeared in a swirl emerging from his soul eye. XX. Chapter 26. State your reason for visiting. The guards on the gate chorused. Kumo probably had the most number of gate guards that Naruto had seen. 2 visible, and 9 hiding nearby. They had hidden well. Out of sight, at least. But, Naruto could just sense them. He supposed being able to sense emotions on top of being a sensor type was sort of cheating. We represent Konoha. We have a meeting scheduled with Raikage-sama. Naruto said. Uzumaki Naruto and Kato Shizune? The guard questioned, looking at his book. Yes. Naruto said. Well then, please enter the village. These people will guide you to your room. As he said that, 2 Kumo shinobi flickered in front of them. We will let you know of the timings for your meeting. He concluded. Very well. We will be in your care. Naruto said, following the Kumo shinobi. Kumogakure, as a village, was more modern than the others. Not technology-wise, but infrastructure-wise. There were several sky-high buildings connected by bridges, tall buildings, and all in all a well-thought-out infrastructure. Please, do not leave the room unless you are asked to. Security reasons, I hope you understand. Their guide shinobi said as they reached the building they were supposed to stay in, bowing. Of course, we understand. Thank you for the hospitality. Naruto said, mirroring the bow. XX. What do you mean we cannot join, Kakashi-sensei? Sakura asked, furious. It is a S-rank mission. No one but elite jonins and high-ranking ANBUs are allowed to take those sort of missions. Kakashi explained. He understood how she felt. But, really, he could not do anything to justify Sakura and Chuji being on the mission. As strong as his students had gotten, they were nowhere strong enough to stand in front of the likes of Orochimaru. But this is what we have been training for. I am sure I can make him understand that what he is doing is wrong. Sakura exclaimed, unbelieving of the atrocity that Kakashi was spouting. I know that. But, I am not the Hokage, Sakura. There is no way for me to justify your presence in a S-rank mission. Kakashi said, trying to not hurt her even more. Well then, I will talk to the Hokage. Sakura said, explaining her simple solution. Really, you should be just grateful that the Hokage has not ordered us to kill him. Don't go and make things worse, Sakura. Kakashi said. Why would she want to kill him? He is a ninja of the hidden leaf. Sakura shouted, flabbergasted. At this Kakashi's eyes narrowed. Get this out of your head, Sakura. He is not a shinobi of the hidden leaf anymore. He is currently working under, perhaps, the worst criminal produced by the hidden leaf. Do not make things any more difficult for him and yourself. I will try my best to get him back. But, if he is hell-bent on remaining a traitor, I will do what I must. Kakashi said, ending the conversation and flickering away. XX. So, Jiraiya-sama, are you prepared? Kakashi asked, his ever-present book open. Yes. But, this is going to be hard regardless of how prepared we are. Jiraiya said. Indeed. Where is Yamato, though? Kakashi asked, looking towards a tree suspiciously. True to his suspicion, from the tree, emerged a man. I was here on time, unlike the pair of you. Yamato said. My. You need to calm down, Yamato. We have a lot of time for this. Kakashi said. Time is something we hardly have. That snake changes his dens as often as we change our clothes. Yamato scoffed. We don't want to start this mission on a bad note, do we? Kakashi said. Well, if the pair of you are quite done with your bickering, shall we start with our journey? Jiraiya asked. Of course, Jiraiya-sama. We will follow your lead. Yamato said. Fine then, here goes nothing. Jiraiya said, leaping towards the trees nearby. XX. So, Shizune, when do you think we will be called for the meeting? Naruto questioned. Knock. Ah, here we go, Naruto. Shizune said, waking up from their bed. Naruto and Shizune had almost rested for a day now, and since there was someone knocking on their door, the meeting was probably going to begin in a while now. Yes? Naruto asked, opening the door. Lord Raikage has summoned you. The shinobi on their door informed them. Sure, lead the way. Naruto said, stepping out of the room with Shizune. XX. A very good evening to you, Raikage-sama. Naruto said, him and Shizune bowing. A good evening to you too. Have a seat. The Raikage said. Once they were settled, the Raikage started again. So, I hear you wanted to make some sort of alliance? The Raikage asked. Indeed. Are you aware of the organization named the Akatsuki? Naruto questioned. Yes, a bunch of S-rank freelancers if I am not wrong. The Raikage replied. Correct to a certain extent. They used to be freelancers. But now, they have adopted a goal. They are trying to capture all the Jinchuriki. For what cause, I am not aware of. But, they are too dangerous to be left unwatched. Hence, I want to extend a formal offer as the representative of Konohagakure to form an alliance to deal with the Akatsuki. Naruto said. As dangerous as a group of S-ranks can be, I have complete trust in the powers of my village's Jinchuriki. They have gained complete control over their tailed beasts and stand beyond any S-ranks. I do not think that Konoha will be of any help to us in such an alliance. The Raikage said. XX. Yujito ni, the Jinchuriki of the two-tailed cat, was pretty confident in her abilities to fight off any opponent. But, when she was returning from yet another, completed S-rank mission, she came across this duo dressed in black cloaks with red clouds over them. And, well, her confidence was broken. One was a black-haired man who could use all 5 chakra natures and just would not die, while the other was just flying around, dropping bombs on her whenever he felt like it. The pair of them were just playing with her. Even with the full might of the Nibi, there was nothing she could do. How she wished she had some summons who could work as messengers. XX. You seem pretty confident regarding your Jinchuriki, Raikage-sama. Naruto said, one eyebrow raising. I am. They are the strongest Jinchuriki that Kumo has produced till date. The Raikage said, proudly. I am the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi. With that title, comes the powers of sensing emotions. And on top of that, I am a sensor. Do you know what I can sense right now, Raikage-sama? Naruto questioned, relaxing on his seat. What might that be? The Raikage questioned. I can sense the chakra of Nibi being exerted, almost to the point of exhaustion now. The source of Nibi's chakra is feeling exhausted and afraid, and, from the rate at which the Jinchuriki's chakra is dropping, they are probably going to die soon. Naruto said, relaxing further, folding his hands and closing his eyes. Bam. Where is she? The Raikage questioned, smashing the desk in front of them. I am not obliged to share anything with someone who is not our ally, Raikage-sama. If that is all, we will take our leave. Naruto said, standing from his chair. The Raikage's eyes narrowed. Call B. He said to his assistant and turned towards Naruto. You will tell me where she is right now. He said, electricity erupting from his body, his ANBU guards making their presence known. You seem to be misunderstanding your position, Reikage-sama. He said, coming between the Reikage and Shizun, purple chakra starting to leak out of his body. Your Jinchuriki, perhaps your village's biggest asset, is in danger right now, and I am your only way to her. He continued. If you want her location, you can officially enter into the treaty by signing this paper. He said, tossing the paper towards the Reikage. Or else, we can leave. He concluded, finally releasing the full might of his sage chakra, dwarfing that of the Reikage. At this, the sparks from the Reikage's body vanished. Fine. He growled. Get me the ink. He shouted, and one of his ANBU scrambled to get the ink. Signing on the paper by taking support of a wall, because, well, there was no table for the support, he handed the paper to Naruto. Now, tell me, where is she? The Reikage questioned, impatient. Checking that the sign of the Reikage was official and there was no game being played, Naruto said, 25 kilometers, down south, pointing towards the said direction. And, in a second, both the window of the office and the Reikage were missing. Picking up Shizun in his arms, princess style, Naruto also flickered towards the fighting scene for his personal agenda. XX. Reaching on the fighting scene along with the Reikage, both of them analyzed the scenery in a second. A guy with black hair was about to punch a blonde girl, who was covered in blue chakra. Probably a knockout hit from what it looked like. In a split second, the Reikage's fist connected to the black-haired man's face and Naruto's chains wrapped around the girl's waist, pulling her out of the harm's way. Finally putting Shizun down, he laid the Jinchuriki of the two-tailed cat down, who fell unconscious as soon as she hit the ground. Of course, no one noticed Naruto's chain covered in the Nibi's chakra returning to his back. Once the chakra was secured, his hands started to glow green, healing the visible wounds on the girl's body. Shizun, please take over. I will have to join the fight. Naruto said, asking Shizun to take over the healing procedure. Of course. Shizun said, her hands starting to glow green too. Stretching his body, Naruto entered the battlefield. I suppose this will be our first fight against the Akatsuki as allies, Reikage-sama? Naruto said, a small smirk visible on his face. Yeah. Just get on with it. The Reikage said, grumbling. Before the fight could start, a man jumped down on the make-do arena. He had dark skin and a muscular build, as well as white hair and a goatee. He wore oval-shaped sunglasses and a white-colored forehead protector. He also had his village's standard one-strap-over-one-shoulder flak jacket, and a long, red rope belt tied around his waist, the standard Kumo hand and shin guards, shinobi sandals, and a white scarf around his neck. Strangely enough, he also had 7 swords strapped to his back. Jo. Say. Ho. You know my name, you know my fame, don't be lame. 8 Tails, that's me, the rap pin, Killer B. He said, rhyming his words for some reason. Ah, his other target. Naruto thought, sensing the pool of chakra within the tall man. Stop it, B. There is a serious confrontation going on here. The Reikage said, scowling. 3 Jinchuriki at one place, I suppose we have dug a gold mine, Kakuzu. Deidara said, jumping down from his bird. I suppose. Kakuzu said. With that said, a heavy atmosphere settled into the battlefield, as the fight was about to begin. XX. Chapter 27. Deciding that revealing all his skills was really not necessary in front of possible enemies, Naruto decided to conserve his stamina and flipped back, letting the Reikage and the Jinchuriki have the stage to fight. Just waiting for B to release the 8 Tails chakra. Double lariat. Was the first shout of the battle, emerging from the mouths of the aforementioned duo. The pair rushed towards Deidara from different sides, their biceps trapping Deidara's neck from the front and the back. Unfortunately for them, the Deidara they had struck dissolved into clay and exploded. Having speed as his forte, the Reikage was able to flicker out of the blast area, while B was able to tank the explosion without any problem. Kakuzu. Shall we retreat? This is looking dangerous. Deidara said, flying on his clay bird, realizing the mess they were in now. This is a golden opportunity. 3 Jinchuriki and 4 bounties. This is not the time to retreat. He said, black threats erupting from his joints. You sound greedy, We don't even need the 8 Tails and the 9 Tails right now. He said, trying to convince Kakuzu. Shut up and fight. Kakuzu growled, his threads rushing towards B. True to his stature of being the best from the village of Kumogakure, B was able to dodge all the threads easily enough. Earth-style, Earth Grudge armor. Kakuzu said, forming an invisible armor over his body. Now certain of his defensive capabilities, he rushed towards B himself. Following Kakuzu's movements, B released the 7 swords from his back and took a strange stance with them. As weird as the stance looked, it was effective. B was able to counter everything that Kakuzu threw at him and damaged him in return. Deciding to end the fight, B used his superior strength to overpower Kakuzu and pass his sword through Kakuzu's heart. My fight is done, yo! Do you need some help with yours, bro? B questioned, shouting. But, before he could go assist his brother, the body of Kakuzu twitched and proceeded to wake up. Eh? I killed your body and saw the blood pool. How are you alive? Fool, ya fool? B questioned. Not deeming the question worthy of his attention, Kakuzu started concentrating. In a split second, 4 monster-like structures erupted from his back. They were made up of the threads that he was using, each with a different mask on their face. Just as the 4 masks erupted out, one of them fell down in a husk. You took away my earth heart. Now, you will compensate for it. Kakuzu said. Fire style, fireball. Wind style, wind bullet, he said, forming an artificial combination attack. Water style, water wall. B said, forming a wall of water to protect himself. Jumping over the wall he had made, he released one of his swords towards one of the monsters. The sword passed straight through its mask, causing it to fall as a husk, just like its dead brethren. Wind style, wind blades. Kakuzu shouted, one of the creatures releasing the said attack. Earth style, earth wall. Naruto said, building an earth wall between the attack and B. Lightning style, electromagnetic wave. Kakuzu shouted, releasing the said attack himself. But, before he could do anything further, a purple ball of chakra connected to his heart, destroying the third one. Realizing that its master was in danger, the wind mask settled into Kakuzu's chest, giving him one more life. Deciding to take the fight seriously now, B started to get shrouded in a red layer of chakra, tapping into his version 1 transformation. As an extension of his limbs, his sword started to glow in red chakra too. Rushing towards his target without wasting any time, B engaged Kakuzu with his swords. Cutting where he could, stabbing where he could, he managed to get Kakuzu down to 1 heart. Now, with his final fire heart in his chest, Kakuzu was regretting getting into this fight. Fire style, fireball jutsu. Kakuzu shouted, making a desperate attempt to survive. Naruto knew that B could dodge the attack easily enough, but this looked like the only time when he could have his chain absorb the Gyuki's chakra. So, he released a chain to wrap around B under the pretense of saving him from the fire attack, and shoved a chakra-empowered punch straight onto Kakuzu's last heart, ending yet another Akatsuki member. XX. The Reikage was furious. His strengths were taijutsu and ground-based speed. So, he could do nothing against a flying opponent. So, he engaged the Akatsuki member with the few ranged attacks he knew in the hopes that B, who knew many ranged attacks, would finish off the other member quickly and get this one too. But, when Deidara saw Kakuzu's last heart being destroyed, he flew away, untouched. At least Yujito was safe, that was something to be happy about. XX. What took you so long, B? The Reikage asked, furious. The fool won't lay down. So, I had to make him stay down. Man had 5 hearts, he just wouldn't die. T was so hard. B said, explaining the fight with his rap. The other one escaped. The Reikage growled. You should be happy that your Jinchuriki is safe, Reikage-sama. Naruto butted in. Shizune is probably done healing her. He explained. Where is she? The Reikage asked, calming down. Back in the woods. Naruto said. Let us get there. He concluded and started to move, the Reikage and B following him. XX. Is she fine, Shizune? Naruto questioned, walking towards her. Yes. Most of her injuries were healed by the bijou within her. I treated her superficial injuries. Shizune explained. That is good. Is she stable, though? Naruto questioned. Mostly. She is suffering from severe chakra exhaustion. She will be fine, but will probably need to rest for a week. Shizune said. Carry her, B. The Reikage said. I must thank the pair of you for the help you provided, he said to Naruto and Shizune. It is our pleasure to help our allies. Naruto replied. Yes, yes. Don't remind me of that. The Reikage scowled. XX. Kakuzu, Jiraiya. Now, you can either retreat and save little Yamato, or try to fight me and cause his death. Orochimaru said. Jiraiya really wanted to finish off Orochimaru right now. But, Sasuke had managed to hurt Yamato severely while Kakashi was distracted by Orochimaru's summons. That was not to say that Yamato was the only one with injuries. All the 5 men in the clearing were bleeding profusely. But as things were, he could now order Kakashi to leave with Yamato, but that would lead to Sasuke either trying to catch up to them or join forces with Orochimaru to kill him. He was sure that he could take on Orochimaru, but a sliver of help could change the tides. Fine. Jiraiya growled. Kakashi, carry Yamato. He said, looking at Kakashi. Do not think that this is the end, Orochimaru. We will meet again, and the next time, it will only be you and me. He said, turning back to Orochimaru. Of course, Jiraiya-kun. I will be waiting for you to catch up. Like always. He said and disappeared in a poof of smoke with Sasuke. Come on. We need to give him instant medical attention. Jiraiya said. Yes, Jiraiya-sama. Kakashi replied. XX. So, have you read all the conditions of the agreement again? Naruto questioned. Yes. I have. The Raikage said. As per the agreement, we will send all the data we have on any of the Akatsuki's members against the same courtesy from Konoha? He said. Yes. I am already carrying all the information we have. Naruto said, offering a scroll to the Raikage. I see. I will try to have the data gathered by today afternoon. You can rest in your hotel till that time. The Raikage said. Thank you for your compliance and hospitality, Raikage-sama. Naruto said, standing up. Don't sweat it. The Raikage replied, dismissing them. Do you think that Tsunade-sama will agree with how you made him sign the agreement? Shizune asked as they moved out of the Raikage's office. She will probably laugh it off. Naruto replied, not much concerned about the consequences. He had already gained a lot from this mission. Firstly, he had gotten to know about an Akatsuki member who could go intangible. Secondly, he had gotten the chakra of 2 more bijou, causing the count to go up to 4 out of 9. And thirdly, he had got much time to spend with Shizune. I don't think so. Shizune said, her elbow hitting his stomach playfully. But, it was definitely cool. She concluded. You think so? Naruto questioned, grinning. No. I was only kidding. She replied, trying to control her laughter. Well then, Miss Funny. Shall we head to our room? Naruto questioned, exaggerating his actions. I suppose we can. She said, just as playful. XX. That makes 4 now. Naruto said. 4 indeed. But, do you think that you will be able to get to the others before the Akatsuki does? Kurama questioned. You know that for a fact that you being here at just the right time was only a coincidence. He said. Well, I can only try my best. Naruto said. I am going to request to be present on every bijou-related mission though. He concluded. That would certainly be helpful. Kurama said. Do you think that I will have to go rogue if the Hokage finds out what I am doing? Naruto questioned. Humans have very thin margins regarding the good and the bad. What you are doing will look like you wanting to take over the village or maybe, the elemental nations. Kurama replied. I see. He sighed out and disappeared from his mindscape. XX. With the enthusiasm you showed before the mission, I was expecting Orochimaru's head on my table. Tsunade said. We don't have his, but we could save Yamato's. Is that not enough? Jiraiya said. Don't make me sound like the villain. I did not even issue the mission. Well, regardless, what of the Uchiha? Tsunade questioned. He is somewhat of a rival to Kakashi in strength now. Jiraiya replied. I don't think he can defeat him just yet. But, he has certainly grown from the scrawny little genin he was. He concluded. That is another headache now. Tsunade sighed out, massaging her head. Everything will come around as it should, eventually. Jiraiya said, ever so optimistic. You would think that, won't you? How about you try sitting on this chair then, huh? Tsunade questioned, her gaze piercing Jiraiya. Now. We can talk like mature people, can't we? Jiraiya said, forcing a smile on his face. Well, it turns out that Tsunade did not want to talk like a mature lady, so she punched him out of his office. XX. Chapter 28. You actually managed to get him to sign the treaty? I was not expecting that. Tsunade said, her eyebrow raising. To her, the 4th Raikage was the most childish of all the Kage. The only way to convince him about anything was to prove that you are very strong, and according to him, if you are strong, you are right. His approach was unique. But, it worked nonetheless. Shizune said. Unique, how? Tsunade questioned. He blackmailed the Raikage into signing the treaty. Shizune said. On this, Tsunade's eyebrow rose. Blackmail is a heavy term. I gave him an offer that he could not refuse. Naruto said. And, what might that offer be? Tsunade questioned, still sounding skeptical. I offered to tell him the location of his dying Jinchuriki in exchange of him signing the treaty. It sounds fair to me. Naruto explained. Sounds fair to me too, yes. Tsunade said and Shizune groaned. Well, anyways. Tsunade continued. The mist has requested our help in sealing the three-tailed turtle inside of a lake. She said. And, do we have a team ready? Naruto questioned. No, there is just no one who can suppress a tailed beast's chakra like you. I wanted to send you and Jiraiya on the mission, but Jiraiya is unavailable currently. She sighed. You can just give me a proper team with a preset sealing array. I think we will be able to do it with or without Jiraiya. Naruto said. At this point, Shizune had already gone back to her duties of being Tsunade's assistant. That is, indeed, what I was thinking. But, I had to make sure of it. Tsunade said. And now that you have conformed it, I can be assured. She concluded. What will be my team, and when do we leave? Naruto questioned. I do not know yet. I will have the team ready soon enough and let you know. Till then, you can have some rest. Tsunade said. Whatever you say. I will take my leave then. He said, flickering away. XX. We are facing severe losses, Nagato. Toby said. How many times have I told you to not refer to me with that name? Pain said. That is of no concern, Pain. We have bigger issues to deal with. We do not have the possession of a single-tailed beast till now. Toby said. Yes. I will have Itachi and Kisame retrieve the one-tailed beast, you and Deidara go for the 3 tails, and I will go to Kumo for the 2 tails and the 8 tails. Pain said. I suppose that will put us on pace. The 9 tails Jinchuriki has been a big thorn in our way though. Toby said. Indeed. I don't think anyone in our ranks other than you or I can capture him. Pain said. Yes, that is why you will capture him personally. Toby said, disappearing in a swirl emerging from his eye. Do you trust him, Nagato? A blue-haired lady asked, emerging from a swirl of papers. I do not. But, he is helping us further our goal. And, till he is helping us, we do not need to end him. Pain replied. I am just worried that he is playing a bigger game. The lady said. Don't worry, Conan. If push came to shove, I will kill him myself. Pain said. I suppose. She said, still skeptical. XX. There is nothing more that you can teach me, Orochimaru. Sasuke said, his extended lightning blade piercing Orochimaru's hands. For the weakest of the Uchihas, you speak a bit too boldly. Orochimaru hissed. Look at you, you call yourself legendary? You are nothing without your borrowed power. Sasuke said. You will never defeat Itachi without my help. Orochimaru replied, disregarding the taunt. I am stronger than you now, he said, the flames of the curse mark forming on his face. You came after me because you could not get Itachi, isn't it? He asked. You wanted an Uchiha body so that you can extend your pathetic life, did you not? He continued. Well, as an Uchiha, when I see you, all I see is an untalented worm clinging to its pathetic existence. He said, stabbing his sword in Orochimaru's neck. But, before the sword could make contact, Orochimaru's body turned into a giant snake, covered with smaller snakes. Give me your body. Orochimaru shouted, lunging toward Sasuke. Trying to switch bodies, trying to survive against all odds, knowing full well that the way of nature itself is opposing your desires. He said, slicing the snakes attacking him and pulling down the cloth covering his torso. I am going to have your body, Sasuke. He shouted again, just as wings erupted from Sasuke's back and his whole body turned darker. Sasuke proceeded to expertly dodge all the attacks thrown towards him. Dodging, slashing and attacking as the opportunity presented itself. There is no jutsu that comes close to killing a perfect being like myself. Orochimaru said, as the pair of them entered into a dark area, surrounded with darkness. Where am I? Sasuke questioned. This is where the transference ritual will take place. Orochimaru replied, forming out of thin air. Those eyes of yours will belong to me now. He said, as a slimy substance started to cover Sasuke's body. Sorry, but these tricks of yours will not work on me. Sasuke said. XX. The atmosphere in the Hokage office was blatantly serious. Team 7, Neji and Genma along with Naruto were given the task to seal the three-tailed beast, Isabu, for the Hidden Mist Village. Neji will be your scout, Team 7 the frontline attackers and Genma and Naruto will do the sealing. You will be under the leadership of Kakashi, followed by Genma and Naruto if things go wrong. Tsunade explained. Understood, Hokage-sama. When do we leave? Kakashi asked. You leave by today afternoon. Since the Three Tails has not been seen till now, you have a time frame of 5 days to reach at your destination. Make sure to not overexert yourselves while traveling, because the chances of things going wrong while the sealing is very high. Tsunade said. Who will be the vessel, Hokage-sama? Naruto questioned. I told you before, your task is to seal the beast inside of the lake it has emerged in so that the Akatsuki cannot take it away, and the mist gets some time to choose the perfect host. Tsunade said. And, we will be using the 4-point sealing array. Gunma intervened. I will leave the technicalities to you. Naruto said to Gunma. Well then, we will depart for the mission, Hokage-sama. Kakashi said. Turning to the team, he continued. Do all of you have your stuff ready with you? A chorused yes was heard, and everybody disappeared in a flicker. XX. Deciding that it was not worth to use his chakra to summon multiple owls to carry everyone on a mission that had a lenient time schedule, Naruto decided to stay quiet and follow the formation that Kakashi had asked them to follow. The journey towards the mist was quite awkward. Niji just wanted some isolation, Sakura was not an extrovert bird, Chuji was content in eating his food, Gunma was chewing his sunban in a daze, Kakashi was in his happy world with his book, and Naruto was perfectly happy in his position at the rear. So, no one was having any conversation, and no one was daring to start one in such an awkward silence. So, Kakashi said, stopping, and consequently stopping everyone. We can take a good rest now. He said and turned towards Chuji. Set the camps up with Sakura. Gunma, set up the traps with Niji. Naruto and I will go get some food. He concluded. Hi. Chuji saluted, preparing to set up the camps with Sakura. Yes. Gunma and Niji said, leaving in different directions. Sure. Naruto said, prompting Kakashi to take the lead. XX. Shall we catch some fishes? Naruto questioned. I don't have any rods and I am not in the mood of getting wet in such cold temperatures. Kakashi replied. Just as he said that, a chain came out of Naruto's back, its face towards Kakashi. Almost staring him in the eyes and asking him, are you stupid? It is too blunt to catch a fish. Kakashi said, and just as he said that, the chain's top became pointed, the apex of the point still looking into Kakashi's soul eye and asking the same question again. A sweat drop formed on Kakashi's face. I suppose you are doing most of the work then. Kakashi said. Naruto hummed, moving on the bank of the river in front of them. Just when they reached there, several chains erupted from Naruto's back and started doing their work. Hokage-sama recently told me about your parents. Kakashi said, out of nowhere. Why would she trust you with such information? Naruto questioned, not missing a beat. The fourth was my sensei. Your parentage was kept a secret because of the risks that came with being the son of the Yellow Flash. Kakashi said. And, why are you telling me that? Naruto questioned. I was told that their son had died. I was really angry at the third when I was told the truth. If things were ideal, I would have probably raised you. Kakashi said. Well, things are not ideal. They hardly are. There is nothing we can do to change that. Naruto replied. Indeed. But, thinking of the ideal scenario is a pleasing activity. Kakashi said. I have to disagree on that. On the contrary, thinking of the ideal scenario will make you lose your grasp on the reality. Naruto said. To this, Kakashi straightened. There had been nobody who had told him that his way of thinking was incorrect. Because, well, everyone strived to achieve their ideal life. Care to explain these thoughts of yours? Kakashi questioned, trying not to sound way too interested. I could think of endless good scenarios regarding my hypothetical life, but that will lead me to try to implement those philosophies in the real, unfiltered world. And, I think that would be a disaster. Naruto replied, explaining his outlook. Why do you say that? Kakashi questioned, curious on his outlook. Let us say, the fourth had survived and convinced the village that I was supposed to be this hero who is holding back the nine-tailed beast for them, and I get all the love and respect I ever wanted, that will make me want to become strong for their safety, and not my goals. While that would be an honorary decision in my ideal life, if I consciously or subconsciously use the same motivation in this real world, that would be letting people walk all over me. Naruto said, giving words to his thoughts. That surprisingly makes a lot of sense. But, learning to differentiate between the ideal world and the real world is a very basic thing. Kakashi said, still defending his outlook. That is for someone who has a slow-paced life. For someone who is assured that he will wake up the next day. People like us, who may die at any moment, tend to strive towards perfection as soon as possible, since there is no certainty for a tomorrow. And, in such a hurry, the lines of reality and fiction blur. Or maybe I am just stupid and do not understand the standard outlook. Naruto said. Maybe you are right, maybe you are not. But, you should not change your outlook for a general belief. Kakashi said. I haven't and I won't. Naruto said. Till this time, there were several fishes and crabs out of the water for a hearty dinner. XX. Chapter 29. Deidara-senpai? Tobi questioned. Deidara-senpai? He questioned again. Wait, is Deidara-senpai dead? He shouted and begun to shake him violently. When will you shut up? Deidara shouted, bonking Toby on the head. The newly formed Akatsuki duo was flying towards the large lake in which the three-tailed beast resided. Their motive, to capture it. Deidara was really happy to work with the senior members of the Akatsuki, but now he was stuck with this childish brat. But senpai, there are people ahead. Toby said, pointing towards their target area. I see, Deidara said, taking a thinking pose. What is the plan, senpai? Toby questioned, his voice, high-pitched. I will do the fighting, you will do the scouting. Deidara said. Woohoo! I will cheer on Deidara-senpai. Toby said, summoning cheering pom-poms out of nowhere. Deidara could only groan at this. XX. The tides are high, be prepared, the turtle can come out at any time. Kakashi shouted, prompting everyone to take their positions. It had taken the team from Konoha 3 days to reach to the Mist Village, and an additional day to reach to the site in question. Now, they were standing in front of a large water body in which the three-tailed beast resided. How are we going to do this? Naruto questioned to Kurama. I am sure we can talk it out with Isabu. Just touch him and I will pull him inside of the mindscape. Kurama said. If you say so? Naruto replied and prepared for the confrontation. I will rush forward to calm it down before things go bad. Naruto shouted, rushing towards the now visible shell of the turtle. All right. The others, be prepared for any sort of failure. Kakashi shouted in response. Just as the shell of the turtle became visible, Naruto lunged to touch it and Kurama pulled the both of them in their mindscape. XX. Am I jailed already? The gigantic turtle sighed out. You are not. Not yet, at least. A voice came from behind the turtle. Kurama? The turtle questioned, turning around. Indeed. There is something I need to talk to you about. Kurama said. And what might that be? Isabu questioned. The Geto Mazo has been summoned again, and the one who has summoned it has the eyes of father. Kurama said. Is he that man, then? Isabu questioned, wondering if the prophesied man had appeared. No. The man is trying to recreate the Jubi by sealing our chakra into the husk. Kurama explained. Well then, it would not take very long for the prophesied man to show himself now. Isabu said, ever so hopeful. Have you not waited enough now? Accept it. Father is dead, and no one will look out for us now. I have chosen my Jinchuriki as the one worthy of the sage's powers. I hope you remember what your contribution will be in that. Kurama said. I would rather not. I am perfectly content in waiting for a bit longer for the man that father had idealized. Isabu replied. I do not care if you are content or not. I am not willing to get absorbed and become a mindless tool of destruction just because you are willing to wait. Either you depart from your chakra willingly, or we force it out of you. Kurama growled. Calm down, now. That sliver of chakra has no value to me, I will regenerate it in a matter of seconds. But, I want to see the one you are talking about first. Isabu said, trying to calm Kurama down. Just as he said that, Naruto came forward from behind Kurama's paw. Hello, I am Uzumaki Naruto. He introduced himself, bowing. I am Isabu, the three-tailed turtle. Isabu said, laying down to Naruto's eye level. Tell me, what is your goal, human? Isabu questioned. As things are, survival. Naruto said, truthfully. Survival? Why is that? Is your life in any danger? Isabu questioned. Indeed it is. As Kurama said, the one who wields the Rinnegan has been seen, and he is actively trying to seal the tailed beasts into the Geto Mazo. If he comes for Kurama, and I am not strong enough, I will certainly die during the extraction. Naruto explained. I see. Isabu said. Fine then, I will entrust him with my chakra if you insist on him being our savior. The turtle said to Kurama. I never said that he is our savior. In fact, the only reason we are working together is because our goals of surviving align. But, he is the only one I can entrust with these powers. Kurama said. Very well then. He said, raising his large paw to form a fist. Before we go forward with this, I want you to know that we are going to confine you to this lake so that the Akatsuki cannot capture you. Naruto said. Akatsuki? Isabu questioned. The organization which is ran by the man with the Rinnegan. Naruto explained. I see. That is acceptable then. Isabu said, still offering his fist. Aware of what the fist meant, Naruto did what he was supposed to do. XX. Art is an explosion. Deidara shouted, scattering and blasting many clay birds in the lake below. We are being attacked, take cover. Kakashi shouted, prompting the team to get cover of the trees. In the ongoing chaos, Naruto's eyes met the empty gaze of the orange-masked man. The same guy who could turn intangible at will. But, Naruto was not the only one who met his eyes. Neji, the scout of the team, did too. Where Naruto was able to negate the genjutsu casted by him, Neji was not able to do so. So, with that deadly glance, Neji felt down in a heap. Now fully concentrating on Naruto, Tobi tilted his head, as if inviting him in a fight. And, well, Naruto had no issues in obliging him. I will go after the other one. Naruto said. You will need backup. Kakashi said. No, securing the tailed beast is more important right now. Naruto replied and rushed towards Tobi. Tobi was only dodging when Naruto was coming too close, almost baiting him to follow him, taking him inside of the deep forest, away from the fight. XX. Human tank bullet. Chuji exclaimed, turning into a human boulder and launching himself into air using the earth wall that Kakashi had created. Water style, water bullet. Sakura said, releasing water bullets in the sky. Relying on his art to dodge all the attacks, Deidara continued to create more small birds out of his clay and kept launching them towards his enemies. Lightning style, lightning stream. Kakashi said, adding his jutsu to Sakura's, making it even deadlier. Caught off guard by the sudden increase in speed of the water bullets, the large bird was unable to dodge the combination attack and exploded on contact. However, this was not enough to get Deidara on the ground because, as soon as the bird exploded, he was ready with another one to keep flying. Unable to see any way to get Deidara down, Kakashi unleashed his Sharingan. I need cover, Gunma. Kakashi shouted and started to concentrate on his Sharingan. I got you. Gunma said, slashing off any clay structure approaching them. It took Kakashi a few seconds, but when he opened his eye, it had evolved from the standard 3-tomo to a unique 3-pointed shuriken. Prepare to attack, Gunma. Kakashi said, his hand shutting his normal eye close to focus properly. Mangekyo Sharingan, Kamui. Kakashi said, the strain on his eye almost audible from his voice. Just as he said that, a vortex formed around Deidara's arm. What is this? Deidara murmured, very confused. Go. Kakashi shouted, and Gunma launched into the air. The vortex that had presented itself had sucked Deidara's arm away, and the loss of his arm distracted him enough for Gunma to cover the distance without any problems. As soon as Deidara saw Gunma releasing the fireball jutsu, he jumped off the clay bird. Gunma, on the other hand, landed on the bird, thinking it was safe. A smirk came on Deidara's face. Kai! He said, causing the clay bird to explode. XX. Kakashi-sensei, are you alright? Sakura asked, seeing Kakashi spread on the ground. I exhausted my chakra. Kakashi said. I will do what I can. She said. Chuji, please carry him in the woods, I will get Neji. Yes. Chuji said and started to pick Kakashi up while Sakura rushed to get Neji to safety. I suppose you are the last one left now. Deidara said, looking towards the tailed beast. XX. You came to intervene in my task again, didn't you? Tobi questioned. At this point, Naruto and Tobi had gotten into a very isolated part of the forest surrounding the lake. You just laid down your conditions, I never said that I would follow them. Naruto replied. Were you born this mischievous, or did the lack of a parental figure cause this? Tobi questioned, mocking him. For someone who is too insecure to show his face, you speak with way too much confidence. Naruto countered. Tobi, Deidara has done his work. A voice came from the tree behind Tobi, and from the tree a half-white and half-black creature grew out. That is pleasing to hear. Tobi said to the creature. Well then, I will take my leave. Remember this, Uzumaki, the only reason you are alive is because you are last in the queue. Rest assured, your time will soon come too. He said, turning towards Naruto. Running away like a coward again? Naruto said, trying to get more information out of him. Tobi did not see any merit in replying and disappeared in a swirl. XX. What happened? Naruto questioned, entering the fight scene. That blonde guy managed to hurt Gunma, and Kakashi-sensei exhausted himself. He dragged away the three-tailed beast too. Sakura said. That is a victory in the Akatsuki's favor. Naruto murmured. Gunma is seriously hurt, I cannot heal him, I only know the basics of medical jutsu. Sakura said. Where is he? Naruto asked, his hands glowing green. XX. Chapter 30. The mission was a failure, Hokage-sama. The three-tailed beast was taken away by the Akatsuki and, Gunma has been hurt severely. Kakashi reported. Which team did you engage? Tsunade questioned. Naruto engaged a guy named Tobi, while the rest of us were fighting Deidara of IWA. Kakashi said. Asai escaped Tsunade. In a swift move, the Akatsuki managed to capture 4 of the 9 beasts. She said. 4? Naruto questioned, confused. Itachi and Kisame invaded the hidden sand to capture the one tail, then the Isabu fiasco. And, the 2 tails and the 8 tails Jinchuriki are missing from Kumo. The Raikage has called for the Hokage summit. Tsunade explained. That is, concerning. Kakashi said. We do not even know about the Jinchuriki of Iwa and Taki. And, the Jinchuriki of 6 tails had gone rogue from the mist, so we do not have any idea about him too. Tsunade said. Naruto did not much care about the bijou whose chakra he had already received, but the ones whose chakra he had not received were of concern to him. For a while, at least. Has the Hokage summit agreed upon by all the Kage? Naruto questioned. It has been, yes. Tsunade said. And, the 2 of you will be my guards for the summit. She informed to Kakashi and Naruto. When will we be leaving then? Kakashi questioned. By today afternoon. The pair of you can go and prepare your stuff now. Tsunade said. I cannot have a break, can I? Naruto groaned. You can have all the break you want once the Akatsuki is dealt with. Tsunade said, prompting Naruto to leave her office. XX. Walking in the dark hideout of Orochimaru, without Orochimaru, was a different feeling. Without any guide, you could get lost at every turn. But, Sasuke was used to these hideouts. He knew each turn, each corner, and each hidden tunnel. And, he knew where his potential team member was. He was in front of him, stuck in a glass chamber full of water. Splash. The water flew out with a slash of his sword. Suigetsu, are you not? Sasuke questioned. Yes. He said, his body forming out of water. I have killed Orochimaru and freed you. Now, you can either come with me, or go on your way. Sasuke said, extending an offer to join his team. Well, I would sound ungrateful if I refused your offer now. Suigetsu said. Regardless, why do you need me anyways? He questioned. I am going to kill my brother, but he always works in pairs of 2. I want my team to hold off the other one while I fight my brother. Sasuke explained. Well, I want to collect the 7 swords of the mist. So, maybe I will join you for a while. He said. Very well. Sasuke said, and started to move forward. Whoa there. Suigetsu said, getting behind Sasuke. You are not the boss here. I am not going to take any orders from you. He said, pointing his fingers on the back of Sasuke's head. When Sasuke stared at him unflinching, Suigetsu stepped back. Yeah, it seems like you killing Orochimaru was no bluff. He monologued. I suppose I will follow your lead till I can get my hands on the 7 swords. He concluded. XX. Since all the 5 Kage have arrived, I, Mifune of the Land of Iron, would like to welcome all the Kages formally. Hokage Dano, Kazekage Dano, Mizukage Dano, Tsuchikage Dano and Raikage Dano, I would like to welcome you all to the Land of Iron. It is a pleasure. Tsunade said. Get on with it. The Raikage said. A wonderful welcome. The Mizukage said, a hand on her lips. We are honored. The Tsuchikage said. We appreciate your welcome. The Kazekage said. Well then, we should start with the topic of the summit. Since Raikage Dano had called the summit, we would request him to announce the content of concern. Mifune said. Something must be done about the Akatsuki. The Raikage stood up. Both my village Jinchuriki have been kidnapped in a single day. He shouted. That sounds like an internal affair to me. The Tsuchikage scoffed. We are willing to provide any resources according to our treaty. The Hokage said. Can we know how many Jinchuriki have been captured already? The Mizukage questioned. Shikaku was taken away by the Akatsuki yesterday. The Kazekage said. The 3 tails was taken by the Akatsuki, we are still looking for the 6 tails Jinchuriki. The Mizukage said. The 9 tails Jinchuriki is safe and sound. Tsunade said. We are locating Han and Rashi, our Jinchuriki. The Tsuchikage said. Takagakure had sent a report stating that the 7 tails Jinchuriki is safe. Mifune said. Both our Jinchuriki are missing. The Raikage said. The losses look severe as of now. The Mizukage said. As I have said before, your Jinchuriki are your internal concern. The Hokage summit should not have been called for a private village matter. The Tsuchikage scoffed. Are you, perhaps, trying to defend the Akatsuki? You have had previous relations with them, haven't you? The Kazekage said. We had strictly professional relationships with the organization. And, if anything, the most suspicious party here is the Hidden Leaf. Their Jinchuriki is the only one who is safe, and it is quite clear that the strength of the leaf is wavering. The Tsuchikage said, pointing toward Tsunade. Our shinobi are the ones who have killed most of the Akatsuki members. And, you should not be one to speak about strength when our single shinobi was able to kill your whole army. Tsunade said, raising her voice to defend her village. That blasted 4th of yours was a monster. And, with his death, your village has grown weak. It looks like you are the one capturing the tailed beasts for your own benefits. The Tsuchikage scoffed. We are the only ones who have done something against the Akatsuki. While you are the only ones who have worked with the Akatsuki. So, mind your tongue and position while talking about my village. Tsunade said. Mifune scoffed. Let's not divert from the subject of concern. He said. Before anything more could be said, a black vortex opened in the room and, out came a familiar masked man. In a split second, all the guards of all the Kages were on the table, in front of their respective Kages. You are still alive, little Inoki? The masked man questioned. Who might you be? The aforementioned Kage questioned, still relaxed on his seat. It is saddening to think that you have forgotten me. I did not believe myself to be a relic of the past just yet. He said. Indulge us then, tell us who you are. Inoki said. I am Uchiha Madara. The masked man announced, and silence ruled the room. In an instant, all the Kages were standing, in their fighting position. It is great to see that my name still brings fear. Regardless, we meet again, Uzumaki Naruto. He said, a red glow suddenly coming out from the hole of the mask. Indeed. Have you come to finally fight me now? Naruto questioned, his chains shivering in excitement. Me? No. I am just an observer. Your fight will be with someone else. The masked man said and stepped back, just in time to avoid an orange blur colliding with him. Almighty push. The said orange blur shouted, his hands together, and a great force of gravity originated from him as the focal point, destroying the building and sending everyone in the proximity flying back. In the split second he got, Naruto wrapped a chain around Tsunade's and Kakashi's waist, and implanted one in the ground to keep themselves stable. Well then, Uzumaki. The next time we meet, you will be chained and your bijou will be extracted from you. Until next time. He said and disappeared in a swirl. Before anyone could try to follow the Uchiha, 5 more orange-haired shinobi landed on the ground, each flashing a pair of Rinnegan eyes. XX. Chapter 31. Summoning Jutsu. The orange-haired lady shouted, summoning a large 3-headed dog to engage the guards of the Kages. Lightning style, lightning cable. Kakashi shouted, forming a lightning cable with his clone and splitting the summon in 2. But, to his horror, both the halves of the summon regenerated, and now there were 2 dogs instead of 1. Particle style, atomic dismantling jutsu. The Tsuchikage shouted, trapping the dogs into transparent cages and disintegrating them. Catching the opportunity, Kakashi tried to speed blitz the summoning path using his Chidori, but he had to flip back to avoid the missile launched by the Azura path. It seemed like the 6 orange-haired shinobi could see everywhere. No matter from which direction you attack, they would dodge it like you were attacking them up front. XX. Where is my brother? The Raikage shouted and attacked the Naraka path, but before his lightning-cloaked body could touch the Naraka path, the Preta path intercepted the Raikage and started absorbing his chakra. Realizing that his chakra was getting absorbed, the Raikage got himself free from the grasp of the Preta path and flipped backwards. Summoning Jutsu. Another cry came out on the field, and after a large poof of smoke, a gigantic rhino was seen. The Raikage, with electricity surrounding his body once more, rushed head first into the battle once again, throwing hands with the Preta path, who was constantly absorbing his lightning cloak every time they made contact. The rhino, on the other hand, was causing havoc in general and protecting its summoner as it was necessary. Lava style, lava stream. The Mizukage said, releasing a rush of hot lava from her mouth, bathing the rhino in lava. The rhino thrashed and turned, but ultimately dispelled after killing several samurai by slamming its large body on them. My. These summons are quite dangerous. Chojiro, dear, would you mind swinging your sword here a bit? The Mizukage said. Why yes ma'am. As you say? The Mizukage's guard stuttered out, unleashing his legendary sword. Wind style, wind gust. Temari shouted, releasing a gust of wind towards the Preta path. But, like before, the jutsu was absorbed like every other one before. XX. Tell me where the 8 Tails Jinchuriki is. The human path questioned. You were the one who took him. C replied. Tell me now, or I will rip your soul out of your body. The human path warned. You were the one who took him away. C shouted, terrified from the threat. Not liking the answer he got, the human path stayed true to his threat and snatched his soul out of his body to investigate the truth. What did you do to him? Darui shouted, swinging his large sword towards the orange-haired man. But, like before, the path managed to dodge the attack without actually seeing it. In a split second, Tsunade landed an earth-shattering punch on the ground, and well, it shattered the ground and disbalanced the human path in front of them. Seizing the opportunity, Darui swung his black lightning-covered sword towards the human path. Even when being able to see it, the human path was unable to dodge due to being disbalanced, so it ended up in 2xx. Standing in front of the Deva path, with the newly arrived Naraka path, Naruto could feel the staggering amount of chakra they possessed. Realizing that he would not be able to deal with this foe in his base form, he willed his sage chakra to take over. Uzumaki Naruto, surrender yourself and you will not suffer any pain. The Deva path said. I was thinking more along the lines of ripping you apart. Naruto said, his body getting surrounded in purple. There is nothing you can do in front of the power of a god. The Deva path replied. You think of yourself as a god? Naruto questioned, his eyebrow raising. I wield the eyes of the samsara, the eyes of the sage of six paths himself. What lesser being can I be? The Deva path questioned. Well, I suppose I will become a god slayer, then. Naruto replied. Your goals are ambitious, but the reality is that you will be captured today. The orange-haired man said. Before anything else could be said, a silent, universal pull came out from the Deva path's mouth, and Naruto was pulled towards the outstretched hand of the Deva path. Summoning 4 chains and planting them into the ground to prevent his neck from getting in the path's hand, Naruto formed hand seals for his go-to jutsu. Sage art, Gale Palm, he said, launching a deadly gust of wind towards the leader of the Akatsuki. Almighty push, he said, deflecting the wind attack and sending Naruto staggering back. Charging a small raisin shuriken on the tip of his chain, Naruto launched it towards the Deva path, hoping that his instant kill technique would deal with the man. But, out of nowhere, the Preta path came in between the attack and the Deva path, and absorbed the raisin shuriken. Just as the absorption was done, he disappeared in a flicker. Naruto supposed that he would have to get up and personal if he did not want any other of the orange-haired people to get in the fight. So, rushing forwards to live up to his thoughts, Naruto's chakra erupted even brighter as he charged it up for his fight with the Deva path. As ninjutsu-oriented as the Deva path seemed due to his gravity jutsu, he was no slouch in taijutsu too. For every punch Naruto delivered, he got one in return, and his punches were strong enough to hurt even his senjutsu-enhanced body. Forming a Rasengan on his hand, Naruto lunged forwards again, only to be repelled by his opponent's almighty push again. Forming a plan in his mind quickly, Naruto summoned 2 shadow clones, who instantly scattered in different directions. Forming a triangle formation around the orange-haired man, each of the Naruto created a full-fledged Raisin Shuriken and threw it towards their target. As expected, their foe dodged the attack, but rather than calling the attack off, each Naruto summoned a chain to catch the attack coming towards them, and threw it towards the Deva path with increased speed. Eventually, with constantly increasing speed of the attacks, one of the Raisin Shuriken connected and demolished the path's body into pieces. Thinking that his fight was over, Naruto started to look around for his next prey, but, to his astonishment, the Naraka path summoned some sort of demon-like thing which absorbed the destroyed body of the Deva path and regenerated it to one piece. I told you before, did I not? There is no competing with a god. The resurrected path panted out. After such heavy attacks and extensive use of his Sage Mode, Naruto's Senjutsu chakra was wavering. That was not to say that the Deva path of the pain was fine. Even though his body was in one piece, he was profusely bleeding, his Akatsuki cloak torn apart and looking like he could fall over at any time. You don't look too good yourself, Naruto said. Do not always believe what you see, the Deva said, flying up in the air. Joining both his hands together as a small black ball became visible in the air and started to attract everything towards it. XX. The summoning path had summoned several gigantic summons who had been devastating the samurai and the shinobi alike. But, in absence of the Naraka path, it had been captured and stored away to prevent it from being resurrected. All the fodder shinobi were already dead, and the Tsuchikage and his guards were currently fighting the Ashura path with the Naraka path as his backup. Lava style, quicklime jutsu. Kuratsuchi shouted, trying to trap the Ashura path, exhaustion audible in her voice. The Ashura path jumped over the quicklime jutsu, but before he could do anything, he got trapped in a transparent cage. Particle style, atomic dismantling jutsu. The Tsuchikage shouted and disintegrated the Ashura path. Before they could start to celebrate, a large black ball became visible in the air and it started to attract everything towards it. XX. Planetary devastation. The Deva path murmured. XX. Chapter 32. Planetary devastation. The Deva path murmured. Looking at the constantly growing black ball of devastation, the brilliant mind of the Raikage decided that he could just punch it into pieces. So, charging his lightning cloak, the Raikage jumped high, enhanced by the gravitational pull of the moon replica, he was all but flying towards the black ball. Reikage-sama. I don't think that's a very good idea. Darui murmured, but to no avail as the Reikage had already launched himself. That has to be the stupidest way in which a Kage has ever died. Mei said to herself. Naruto? Tsunade shouted, seeing the limp body of the red head getting pulled towards the artificial moon. XX. Being at the core of the place from which the attack was launched, there was nothing that Naruto could do to avoid getting trapped in the small moon. His chains and chakra, both were failing him at such a crucial moment. He had been using his sage mode for a long time, and now his body was wavering. And, his chains were just not strong enough to counter such strong gravitational pull. So, Naruto could only close his eyes and have a conversation with his tenant before things went down south. XX. Get something to hold on to. The Tsuchikage shouted, and as if his shout was an alarm, everyone ran to hold on to something. As expected from a fight of this magnitude, the meeting building and the surrounding area was in shambles. Without the assistance of the Deva path, the Kages had deduced the tricks of the 5 paths of pain and were able to take them down eventually. But, the casualties were high. See, the right-hand man of Reikage was dead. Ao, the guard of the Mizukage had lost an arm. Most of the samurai guards were stomped upon by the gigantic summons, and the 4th Reikage had probably committed suicide by rushing towards the miniature moon. Now, in presence of the black ball of devastation, the panic was on the highest pedestal. XX. Oi, Kurama. I hope I have proved myself enough, because if I haven't, we are probably going to die. Naruto said. Silence. This is really not the time to ignore me, you know? Naruto said again. Silence. Hello? Naruto tried once more. In this rough a shape, your body will not be able to handle my chakra. A deep voice growled. Are you afraid? Naruto questioned. I am not, but charging your body up with my chakra will be a suicide move anyways. One needs practice to even stay conscious in presence of the full might of my chakra. Kurama said. I will pull through it. Naruto shrugged. Apart from that, I would rather die trying. He said. Very well then. Kurama said, and pain coursed through Naruto's body. XX. Did Naruto get trapped in that? Tsunade questioned to herself, her eyes wide. It seems like that. The Tsuchikage said. On the announcement of Tsunade's words, a chaotic sound of thousands of birds screeching erupted in the room, originating from blue lightning that was covering Kakashi's arm, his eyes in the 3-pointed wheel pattern again. I will get him. Kakashi said, charging towards the now large ball made from the surrounding of the terrain. But, before he could reach there, a golden glow erupted from the artificial moon, making a large hole in it. XX. This power is amazing. I can sense everything going on around here. Naruto said, looking at his glowing hands. Don't get carried away, you hardly have 5 minutes in this form before your body gives out. Kurama said. True to what everyone had seen, Naruto was glowing gold, a high-collared cloak surrounding his body and 9 Magatama marks adorning his back. I see. Naruto said, blitzing towards the last standing path of pain, holding him from his neck. Now this close to the Deva path for the first time without any instant time restrictions, Naruto could sense no emotions coming from the body. In an instant, a black rod formed on the Deva path's hand which he tried to stab into Naruto's stomach. With reactions quicker than light itself, Naruto broke the path's hand and took the black rod in his own hands. There is some chakra flowing through this rod. Kurama said. Yes, I can feel it too. Naruto said, casually snapping the Deva path's neck. So, you are just a puppet? Naruto asked, stabbing the rod into his own stomach. Yes, there is surely some chakra flowing through this. Follow it to its core. Kurama said. That will be the original body that was controlling the others. He concluded. And, in an instant, there stood no one where Naruto once stood. XX. Run away, Konan. He is coming for me. Nagato said. No way am I running away. I will fight him if I must. Konan replied. He is too strong to handle, Konan. He will surely kill me. But, I do not want you to become a casualty too. Nagato explained. Before they could argue anymore, a tear appeared in the paper tree they were hiding in. Here you come, Uzumaki. Nagato said. A bit too crippled for a god, aren't you? Naruto said, looking at the skinny body of the Rinnegan wielder, stuck to the machine like his life depended on it. You have come for revenge, haven't you? Just like every other man. Nagato said. You were expecting me to not have revenge in my mind when I come for you? Naruto countered. That is why you are a human, and I, a god. You will never know the meaning of letting go, unless someone forces it upon you. Nagato said. Is that so? Are you above feeling hatred and anger? Naruto questioned. I am. Nagato said, and in a split second, Konan was not behind him anymore. Konan was in front of him, with the tip of a kunai on her neck and chains covering her body, restricting the flow of her chakra. Will you not seek revenge if I kill her now? He said, applying just enough pressure on her neck to draw a drop of blood. Leave her out of this. Nagato shouted, thrashing around in his machine, trying to move. Hypocritical, no? You want me to leave her out of this, but you also want to kill the Jinchuriki for their bijou? Naruto asked. All I do is for peace. Someone like you, who is obsessed with revenge, will never be able to sacrifice everything for the betterment of the world. Nagato said, releasing a wooden arrow from his machine towards Naruto, aiming it carefully to not hurt Konan. I suppose I am selfish. If you come for what is mine, you will end up losing all you have. Naruto said, bringing Konan between him and the arrow passing right through her heart. Before Nagato could throw a tantrum over her death, Naruto launched a kunai towards Nagato's heart. Being as exhausted as he was after performing the planetary devastation, Nagato was unable to muster up chakra for an almighty push and could do nothing but join Yahiko and Konan in the afterlife. What should I do with his eyes? Naruto questioned. Use it to summon the Geto Mazo. Once you extract the chakra of the other tailed beasts, destroy the eyes. Kurama said. Should I not keep them for myself? Naruto questioned, curious. No, those eyes are not meant to be in this plane of existence. The world is better off without them. Kurama said. Well, whatever you say. Naruto said, the golden chakra fading, and his hands glowing green. XX. Obito. Zetsu shouted. HHE destroyed the Rinnegan. He said, frustration leaking from his voice. What? Did Pain actually lose? Obito shouted in kind. Yes, and now the Rinnegan is gone. Everything we had done till now, gone, because of a brat. Zetsu said, calming down to think properly. XX. Have you finally come to confront your judgment, Itachi? XX. Chapter 33. What happened back then? Tsunade questioned. Nothing. Naruto replied, caressing the bird on his shoulder. Lies, she could feel the heaviness in Naruto's chakra. What was that golden form? She questioned once more. The Kyuubi had taken over. He replied. Lies, she knew he was in control. You look different. She stated. I don't know what you are talking about. He said. Lies, she could clearly see that his purple eye shadows were missing, and as far as she knew, they were there since his birth. Are you fine? She questioned once more. Yes. Was his prompt answer. Once again, she noticed his lie due to the heaviness in his steps and tiredness in his eyes, but she did not mention it. Take your time. She said, letting him sort out the mess he was going through. I am here for you. She said and started moving in silence. Tsunade, Naruto and Kakashi were heading back to Konoha after the Kage summit fiasco. There was no conclusion of the summit, but Konoha both gained and lost something from it. Killing off the leader of the Akatsuki was surely a gain, and loosing the treaty with Kumogakure after the death of the fourth Raikage was a loss. But, all in all, Konoha was in a better position than before. Naruto wanted to tell Tsunade of what the golden cloak was, of what he had done with those eyes and how he had absorbed the power that would disbalance the hierarchy of the elemental nations. She was one of the very few that he liked or maybe even loved, but she was the Hokage foremost. Before, he would had straight up left Konoha, but with Shizune and Tsunade, he had found a home in Konoha. He had to sort out his powers and emotions before he could spill anything out. He would have to sit and think about this first. XX. What do we do now, Obito? Zetsu questioned. With Itachi and Pain gone, we lack manpower. And without the Rinnegan, we cannot even revive Madara. Obito said. How about you get Sasuke and his team into Akatsuki? That would solve our manpower issue for a while. And, if he is anything like Itachi, he will be very strong with his Mangekyo. Zetsu said. He would be, but he has not awakened the Mangekyo till now. Obito said. Indeed, but maybe telling him the truth about his brother would change things. Zetsu said. I suppose I will talk to him. Obito said, warping out of reality. XX. Waking up in a dark cave, covered in bandages, was the last thing that Sasuke had expected after his fight with Itachi. But, it was happening. Trying to find the satisfaction of his victory after achieving his lifelong goal, there was nothing he could feel. No happiness. No excitement. No outrageous feeling of joy. So, he decided to look around with his onyx eyes to find a way out of the place he was at. So, you actually won. A voice said, and a man dressed in black spandex and orange mask whirled into existence. To the man's amusement, not a sliver of emotion flickered on Sasuke's face. His face was blank, his dark eyes looking straight into the hole of the mask. You are not interested at all, I see. Is it that you are thinking about your brother? He asked, but no reply came. Maybe this will bring you back to your senses. He said, his eye shining red and forming a three-pointed shuriken. I am also a survivor of the Uchiha clan. To this, Sasuke's left eye evolved into that of Itachi's and released onyx flames of Amaterasu on the man in front of him. On being burned by the hottest flames in existence, the masked man howled and thrashed, and eventually disappeared in a swirl. What was that? Sasuke questioned. His eye returning back to its normal state as blood leaked out of it. The Amaterasu, which Itachi implanted inside you. An unexpected reply came, as the same masked man whirled out of nowhere. What do you mean by that? Sasuke questioned. Itachi probably temporarily implanted his ocular powers inside of you. The masked man said. Why would he do something like that? Sasuke questioned. To protect you, of course. The man replied. Protect me? If you keep spitting bullshit like that, I will kill you. He said. I know everything there is to know about Itachi. The truths, the lies, everything. The man said. What do you mean by that? Sasuke questioned. Like how to protect his little brother, he put everything on the line. How he denied everything he stood for, just to keep his precious brother alive. Obito said. XX. You look off. Shizen said, standing at the door of Naruto's apartment. Like always, the apartment was full of birds flying around. Like always, it was unacceptably neat. Unlike always, Naruto was not looking very energetic. I have not slept properly yet. Naruto said, moving aside to let Shizen in. Is that so? Shizen questioned, getting on her tiptoes to stare Naruto straight in his eyes. Looking his eyes this close, she could see something vital missing. Your eyeshadows? She questioned, her eyebrow raising. They are gone. She stated, clearly expecting an answer from him. Are you going to come in or will you just stand there the whole day? Naruto questioned. Fine. But, I definitely want answers. She huffed, getting in his home. I am still figuring it out. There are revelations that are yet to be revealed, but I am still figuring it all out. Naruto said as Shizen settled down, almost talking to himself. You look awfully tired. She said. I have gotten used to sleeping, and I haven't been able to sleep lately. Naruto replied. Now, that won't do, would it? Shizen said. Let's get to the bed. She said, pulling Naruto by his hand. She knew there was something that he was hiding, but she trusted him enough to give him some time to get things off his chest. XX. Will you explain everything to me now? Naruto questioned. What is there to explain? The Rinnegan wielder is dead, and your next target is Uchiha Madara. Kurama said. Why is my chakra so heavy? And why are my sage markings gone when I can feel a stronger senjutsu chakra flowing within me? Naruto questioned. I told you before, collecting the chakra of all the Bijou will ascend you beyond a normal sage. The chakra you feel is a sliver of the Jubi itself. Jubi, by nature, is an extension of everything around you. Jubi is the nature, and you wield its powers now. Kurama explained. Yes, but the control I feel over my chakra is exponentially better. I have never been bad at controlling my chakra, but this feels like I can control every drop of it individually. Naruto said. There is no point in discussing this as of now. Just get to an isolated area for a while and we will figure out how these new powers of yours work. Kurama said and kicked Naruto out of his mind. I suppose I will trust you, then. Naruto said, waking up, and looking at Shizen who was sleeping next to him. XX. Chapter 34. Sensing something peculiar from his heightened senses, Naruto was moving towards an isolated area inside of the hidden leaf. He had to be present in front of the Hokage as of now, but he believed that catching an intruder in the village took priority. Entering the now guardless Uchiha district was an easy task. Ever since Uchiha Sasuke had abandoned the village, there had been no maintenance of the district. So, walking in the empty streets, the unique presence was getting more noticeable. True to what he had thought, on the shore of the Naka River, the red clouds were visible. So you came alone? The Akatsuki questioned. He was half black and half white, with a green cactus-like thing covering his head. I was not expecting to see you alone here. He continued. Give me one reason why I should not kill you right here. Naruto said, charging his hand with chakra to perform an earth-shattering punch. I can give you 3. I am not strong enough to escape from here, you can sense no killing intent from me and I am here to talk. He said in a dual voice. What is there to talk about? Naruto questioned. There is a lot, but I don't have that much time. He said. And, I am Zetsu. Well, we are. He is white Zetsu and I am black Zetsu. The creature explained. Don't play around. State what you are here for, or die. Naruto said. Now. I am pretty sure you want to know what I am here to say. Zetsu placated. Speak up then. Naruto ordered. Do you know of the Sage of Six Paths? Zetsu questioned. I do. Naruto answered. What do you know of him? Zetsu questioned again. More than I should. Naruto replied, not really answering him. Fine, don't tell me. The Sage of Six Paths had two sons. The older one, Indra, and the younger one, Ashura. Due to some disputes, they ended up as rivals, and ultimately, arch-enemies. Their disputes were not solved in their lifetimes, so, as demigods, they started to reincarnate into different generations. The first Hokage and Uchiha Madara were the first of them. You, Uzumaki, and Uchiha Sasuke are the second ones. If you come with me, and combine your chakra with Sasuke's, you will be able to awaken the full powers of the Sage of Six Paths. Zetsu said. So, you came to hire me? Naruto questioned, raising his eyebrow. In short, yes. Zetsu replied. And how do you know of all this? Naruto questioned. I have been around since a long time. Zetsu answered. Will you go away if I ask you to, or do you wish to die early? Naruto questioned. Are you denying our offer? Zetsu questioned. I am. Naruto said, folding his hands. Fine then, Uzumaki. One way or the another, you will become the sacrifice that you are destined to be. Until next time. Zetsu said, sinking into the ground. XX. Are the white Zetsus ready? Obito questioned. Yes. They are underground as of now. But, why do we need to go for a war? Zetsu questioned. Sasuke or Madara will have to be pushed to death to awaken the Rinnegan, now that Pain's eyes are gone. Obito said. Madara? How are you planning to revive him? The reanimation jutsu. Try to get your hands on it, Obito said. That is hard. Naruto can sense my presence now. Zetsu replied. Work around it, that is the only shot we have at reviving Madara. Obito ordered. I will try to find a loophole. Zetsu said. And what of Sasuke? Obito asked. The implants were successful. He will need a few days to get used to his eyes, though. Zetsu said. I see. Obito said, ready to warp out of reality. Where are you off to, though? Zetsu questioned. I need to see Sasuke's prowess firsthand. Obito said and disappeared in a swirl. XX. Try to get into the sage mode. Kurama said. Naruto was still at the Naka River. After the creature from the Akatsuki had gone away, Naruto had decided that this was the most isolated place he could find within the territory of Konoha. Sure. Naruto said, willing his body to perform the natural procedure of tapping into the sage mode. Like always, he could feel his chakra getting stronger. Like always, his body was reacting well to the new chakra. Unlike always, it was very easy to tap into the sage mode now, it was almost as easy as breathing. And unlike always, the aura of the sage mode was considerably lighter than the one he was used to. I feel much stronger. Stronger than the form we had while merging our powers, in fact. Naruto said. Indeed. This is the powers of the Sage of Six Paths, after all. These powers are representation of divinity amongst shinobi. Kurama said. Can I stack your cloak over this form? Naruto questioned. You probably can, but the intensity of that chakra would probably turn this district into dust. That is something you will need to do in proper isolation. Kurama said. That is understandable, I suppose. Naruto said, forming a purple ball of chakra in his hands. Forming the Rasengan has become easier too, he said. Try adding the chakra of Shikaku into your Rasengan. Kurama said. I will try it. Naruto said, closing his eyes and concentrating on the chakra of the One Tails to draw on it. Slowly but surely, the signature blue curse marks of the One Tails started to spread on the purple ball of devastation. Sage Art, Rasengan. Naruto said, smashing the Rasengan into the nearby tree. The Rasengan only did the minimal damage that the base Rasengan was supposed to do, but on top of it, blue curse markings started to appear on the tree, and in a split second, every metal that gets attracted by magnets was crushing the tree to powder. It probably immobilizes the one who makes contacts with this and attracts metal towards it. Naruto murmured. I will try another one. He said, preparing to charge another Rasengan, but before he could do that, his sage mode started to flicker. You have not yet recovered from the damage you took from using my chakra in the state of exhaustion. Take a break for now, we have some time till you confront Madara. Kurama said. I see. Even that Sasuke guy is with them now, I don't really know how strong he has gotten. Naruto said. I do not think that he will be a bigger threat than Madara. Kurama huffed out. Well, whatever you say, but for now, I am really hungry. Naruto said and flickered towards a good restaurant. XX. Amaterasu. Sasuke said, blood rushing out from his eye as the inextinguishable black flames consumed the tree in front of him. You have certainly gotten better at this. Obito said. I still cannot control them as I want to. Sasuke huffed out. Even Itachi could not do that, you know? Perhaps, you need some rest to figure out what you are trying to do. Obito replied. I do not have any time to rest. If things continue as they are, there will be more people who will have to suffer like Itachi did. Sasuke said, preparing to activate the eyes he had gotten through the sacrifice of his brother. What is your goal then, Sasuke? Obito questioned. A revolution. It is high time that the great villages understand that they cannot sacrifice anyone they want. He said, a purple ethereal skeleton surrounding him. Quite a goal you have. A pity that it will be overshadowed by the infinite Tsukiyomi. But, rest assured, you will live in the perfect world, Sasuke. Obito said to himself, sure that Sasuke was fully immersed in his training now. XX. Chapter 35. In the rush of everything, he had forgotten that he had to report to the Hokage. You are 7 hours late, Naruto. That is breaking Kakashi's record by 3 hours. He was not lazy, he just had more important issues to deal with, damn it. Are you just going to stay quiet? Tsunade questioned. The circumstances were peculiar. Naruto said. Peculiar, how? She questioned again. It is a long story, how about you tell me why I was called here first and then I can explain everything to you? Naruto asked. Actually, I have a topic of more importance. So, you get on with your story first, then I will start mine. Tsunade sighed out. I see. Naruto said, rubbing the back of his neck. Well, get on with it then. She urged. When I was getting to your office for reporting for duty, I sensed a unique chakra. So, I decided to get to the core of it quickly. After searching for a while, I ended up at the Naka River of the Uchiha district. True to what I had thought, he was an Akatsuki member. Naruto said. Akatsuki? And you are not presenting his body yet? Tsunade asked, her eyebrow raising. Actually, he came to hire me for the organization. I refused, of course, but he ran away before I could do anything. Naruto explained. Why did anyone else not sense him? She asked. I am an exceptional sensor, apparently. He shrugged. Well, anyways, about what I called you here for. She said, summoning a scroll. Read it. She said. Be prepared for the next great war Uchiha Madara. It read. They are clearly trying to bait someone out. If they wanted to win, they would have simply attacked while no one was expecting it. And, since the intentions of this Madara guy are clear, he is trying to bait me out on field. Naruto said. Yes. That is why I wanted your opinion on this. This scroll was found right in the middle of the Hokage office, the most secure building in the whole village. And, the scroll of seals has been tempered with. Tsunade explained. Tempered with? Naruto questioned. The scroll of seals is kept in between of a sealing array that prevents anyone from touching it. Tsunade explained. But, when we did the general inspection of the scroll today, the array was broken and the scroll, open. She said. That is surely concerning. If they can infiltrate the village like that, we need to up our game too. Naruto said. Do you think we should start an alliance with the other nations? I am sure that each nation must have received the same threat. Tsunade questioned. Well, if you think they are a big threat, you should. But, I doubt any of them will be a challenge. Naruto said. Is that arrogance that I hear in your voice? Tsunade questioned, her eyebrow raising. Hardly. He said. I just think that I will be more than prepared for what is to come. He concluded. That is better. Do not let arrogance get in your head. She lectured. Of course. He said. And, I wanted to train in an isolated area for a while, can that be arranged? Naruto questioned. I suppose. Tsunade said, adopting a thinking pose. How does the Forest of Death sounds? She questioned. I don't mind the place, my concern is isolation and freedom from the responsibility of the damage caused due to my training. He replied. No one goes to that place, and the terrain is a forest, so there should be no problems. She said. Very well. May I take my leave then? He questioned. Sure you can. I will let you know of the decision that is made through a messenger bird. She said. Thank you, Hokage-sama. He bowed before shunshuning away. XX. You actually managed to get it? Zetsu questioned. Yes. They had no counters against the space-time jutsu I use, and I was there only for a split second, so no one actually detected me before I was gone. Obito said. That is great. Zetsu exclaimed. It is not. Obito sighed. This reanimation jutsu is the one that the second Hokage had created. It is not very effective. We will need to revive Orochimaru from some curse mark to use a better version of it. He said. If you want, I can get some experiment of his here. Zetsu said. Please do. That is the only option we have left now. Obito said. And how is Sasuke progressing? Zetsu questioned. He is doing fine. He has learned to maintain his half-body Susanoo. He can probably rival any of the Kages as he is. But, he is still no match for people like Madara or even Naruto for that matter. Obito said. That Nine Tails has been a big thorn in our side. Zetsu said. He will be taken care of too. He is only an obstacle in the plan. Everything will conclude as it should. Eventually. Obito said. XX. You need to train your base Sage mode before stacking my chakra onto it. Kurama said. That is understandable. I really don't want to die experimenting after all this, anyways. Naruto said. Stop talking now. Try pulling on Goku's chakra now. Theoretically, you should be able to use lava style as his Jinchuriki now. Kurama said. Sure. Naruto said, closing his eyes and concentrating on the chakra within him. Got it. He said. Lava style, magma bullets. He continued, shouting the name of the jutsu out of habit now. As the consequence, a bullet covered in hot magma got released from his mouth and burnt the tree in front of him. This is good. This will be useful to surprise your opponent, as no one knows of your newly gained bloodlines as of now. Kurama said. Indeed. But I don't have enough time to get used to all of them. I am just going to improve what I am already used to. Naruto said. And, what do you mean by that? Kurama questioned. This. Naruto said, a chain made of lava erupting from his back. I am more used to using my chains. It would be beneficial and economic for me to integrate new techniques with my already mastered techniques, rather than learning everything from the scratch. Naruto explained. That is uncharacteristically smart of you. Kurama complimented. XX. We will be initiating our attack soon, Sasuke. Obito said. Finally. Took you long enough. Sasuke said, sheathing his sword. But, before that, I need to know if you remember the hand signs of the evil containment seal that was used on you. Obito said. Ido. I saw Kakashi perform the seals with my Sharingan. But, why do you need it? Sasuke questioned. I need you to unseal Orochimaru from one of the curse marks. Obito said. No. Sasuke stated, folding his hands. We need him to perform the reincarnation jutsu for us. We cannot take on the 5 nations alone. Obito said. Oh, is the great Madara Uchiha scared? Sasuke questioned. I suppose I should have told you this before. I am not Uchiha Madara, I am only his disciple. We will be reviving the real Madara Uchiha through Orochimaru too. Obito stated. On this revelation, Sasuke's eyebrow rose. How are you sure that Orochimaru will help us? He questioned. That snake will do anything to survive. You and I, both are stronger than him. He will help us, or die. Obito said. Fine. Sasuke stated, deciding to revive an abomination for the sake of a better world. All right. Obito said and turned around. Zetsu, get the army and the sacrifices ready. The war shall start soon. He concluded. XX. Chapter 36. I have called all the Jonin and Jiraiya back from the field. At this point, we need all of our military force to defend the village from any sudden attack. Tsunade said. That seems like a smart decision. I wonder if they are done playing around. Naruto said, taking another sip of his sake. It had been 3 weeks since Naruto had asked for a place to train, and ever since then, invasion in the territory of the Fire Nations had become very usual. Several of the White Zetsus had been invading their territory and causing havoc. They were not strong individually, but they were several in numbers. They had effectively blocked all the communication networks between the great villages by randomly attacking the messenger birds and the ship network. They probably are. The white creatures have been spotted dangerously close to the Leaf Village now. The final fight is probably on the brink of beginning. Tsunade sighed out, following Naruto and taking a sip of her sake too. Then why not deploy a heavy attack squad to just obliterate the Zetsus? Naruto questioned. It is not feasible. From what we know, they have a way of traveling underground. If I centralize an attack, they will just hit our weak spots. Tsunade explained. Well, I am a Jonin on duty as of now, I can go and do it for you. Naruto said, filling his glass again. You think you can take on an entire platoon? Tsunade questioned, raising her eyebrow. You still have doubts about that? Naruto countered, his eyebrow as high as hers. Of course, as drunk as she was, she could not win in a staring contest against Mr. I cannot get drunk. I suppose. She sighed out. I will let you know about it tomorrow, let me enjoy the time I have for now. She said. Sure. Naruto murmured, enjoying the little time he had before the inevitable violence. XX. Are you prepared, Sasuke? Obito questioned. It looked like he had changed his attire now. The attire included a pair of black pants and gloves, with a white form-fitting shirt underneath. Over this he wore a purple, high-collared, long-sleeved mantle that splits down to the lower half, and had the Uchiha crest over his back, similar to that of the blue mantle. Around his waist was a simple, light purple obi and belt. He had also replaced his orange mask with a white one with 3 openings, as opposed to the single opening of his previous mask. The openings of his mask blazed red, one of the eye with a unique 3-pointed shuriken, and another, a matured Sharingan. As ready as I am going to get. Sasuke replied, his eyes blazing red similarly. The pair of you look quite prepared, kukukuku. A voice hissed. Did I not tell you to not move around without my explicit permission? Obito asked. Now, little Obito, no need to be so rude. Orochimaru said, a grin splitting his face. How far have you progressed? He questioned. Far enough. All the modifications will be done in a few more days. The jutsu will be ready for use then. Orochimaru said. You better not try to backstab us, if I find a sliver of doubt, I will end you myself, again. Sasuke said, raising his sword threateningly. My. What have I done to gain your hatred, Sasuke? Orochimaru questioned, his voice deceptively calm. Everything you do and stand for is disgusting for me. The only reason you are alive is because you serve a purpose for the greater good. Sasuke said. All I was doing was finding a way to not die, what is so wrong about it? Orochimaru questioned. Enough. Obito said. We have places to be at, Sasuke. He said, moving to exit of their hideout. Fine. Sasuke hissed, following Obito. XX. Sage Art, Raisin Shuriken. Naruto said, releasing one more Raisin Shuriken towards the herd of white Zetsus, obliterating a couple hundreds in a single move. You are not very strong, Tsunade should have just sent me earlier. You would have not become such a big problem then. Naruto said, snapping the neck of the Zetsu who was trying to stab him from the back. Summoning Jutsu. He shouted, summoning a large owl in the forest. One more done. He told to the large summon. Let's head towards the next camp. He concluded, getting on the furry back of the summon. You can fly now, you know? Kurama said. It is tiresome, I will save that for a fight. I want to rest before I have to destroy another such camp. He replied and fell asleep on the bird's large body. Naruto had been traveling throughout the outskirts of the Fire Nation for a while now, destroying all the Zetsu camps he had seen. Till now, the count was 39. Since most of the major ports and communication routes were free now, Naruto was heading back towards Konoha, searching for the camps in Wei. XX. Lady Hokage. One of the shinobi shouted, barging into the Hokage office. In an instant, there were 7 blades on the neck of the intruder. Kotetsu? What is it? The Hokage questioned, forming hand signs to dismiss the ANBU. There are snake summons marching towards the village gates, Lady Hokage. It is speculated that the attacker is Sasuke Uchiha. The Chunin said. Is that so? She questioned. Shizune. She said, prompting Shizune to get into the office. Inform Jiraiya and his squad that their expertise is needed on the village entrance. Bor, get the village defense system ready and prepare the platoons for ant sort of battle. She ordered. Hi. Shizune and the ANBU said, and disappeared. Yamato announced the village lockdown. Tsunade said and stood up from her desk, moving towards the large window of the Hokage office. The shit is about to get real, eh? She said, taking a sip of the sake in her hand. XX. Summoning Jutsu. A cry was heard on the outskirts of the Hidden Leaf village, and in a split second, the large snakes marching towards Konoha were not looking threatening anymore. Bunta, you haven't gotten rusty, have you? Jiraiya questioned from the top of the summon's head. Never too old to carve out a wallet out of snake skin. The summon replied, unsheathing its sword. Well then, let us get our old bones working once more. Jiraiya sighed out. I am hardly old. Gamabunta said, jumping towards its rival summon. While the fight between the gigantic summons was taking place, in another corner, stood a sensei and student face to face, both of their hands shining blue, ready to do what they must. I was not expecting you to fall this low, Sasuke. Kakashi said. I am doing nothing for myself. I aim for a better world, just like you. But, unlike you, I am willing to make sacrifices for it. Sasuke said. You are only leading us to the next great war. Things will never be ideal, Sasuke. You still have time, surrender and you will stop havoc from spreading throughout the world. Kakashi warned. I have come too far to surrender now, Kakashi. He said, his eyes evolving to become the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. I suppose I will stop you like a good teacher should, Sasuke. Kakashi said, his eyes turning to their Mangekyo state in response. XX. Chapter 37. Gate of Opening, Open. Might Guy shouted, opening first of the 8 celestial gates to counter the smaller summons and the horde of white Zetsus. Gate of Opening, Open. A similar, but noticeably younger voice exclaimed, green aura blasting from his body. Niji, take the frontal role with 10-10 as your backup to counter the summons, Lee will deal with the white things, and I will rush forward to combat the larger summons. Guy said. Hi. A chorus of 3 was heard and in a split second, there was no one where Team Guy once stood. 8 trigrams, rotation. Niji shouted, creating some space for 10-10 and himself. 8 trigrams, 60 for palms. He exclaimed again, stopping the flow of chakra in the snake's body, and subsequently dispelling them. Twin dragons. 10-10 said, unleashing hundreds upon hundreds of pointy tools from it and launching it in all the directions in the form of a tornado. Dynamic entry. Lee shouted, clearing the horde of Zetsus charging towards him in a sweeping kick. Bring it on, my archenemies, I shall show you the power of my youth. He exclaimed and vanished in a green blur. XX. There is no Orochimaru? Gamabunta questioned. I doubt he is on the field. These snakes were summoned by another kid. Jiraiya replied. That sucks. I wanted to shed his skin too. Gamabunta said, jumping on the small summons, dispelling them, and rushing towards his archenemy. You show yourself again. Manda said. I am not very happy either, but I suppose this is what we have come down to. Gamabunta replied, stopping from his rampage. Is that so? Let me finish you once and for all, then. Manda hissed. Stop talking big if you cannot back up your words. Gamabunta replied, unsheathing his sword. You just stole my words. Manda hissed in reply, and charged towards the giant toad. Gamabunta replied by jumping high towards the sky and free-falling towards the large snake with his sword below him. The snake managed to slither out towards safety just in the nick of time to avoid getting slashed. As the pair of giant summons came face to face again, they rushed towards each other again. Gamabunta slashed his sword towards Manda, who caught the sword in his canines and swung his tail towards the toad summon. Abandoning his sword, Gamabunta flipped back to save himself and his summoner. It is time for the oil, Bunta. Jiraiya said. As you wish. Gamabunta replied, spitting a river of oil from his mouth. Combination style, Toad Flame Bullet. Jiraiya shouted, igniting the oil. The deadly attack connected with the snake, burning it to ashes. That was surprisingly easy. Gamabunta said. Below you. Jiraiya shouted. The shout alerted the toad summon to catch the tail of Manda coming towards him from underground. The face, however, came from the behind. As busy as his arms were with the tail of the snake, Gamabunta could only turn his head to see the sharp teeth of Manda coming towards him. Odamarasengan! Jiraiya shouted, slamming the large Rasengan into the face of the snake. XX. An attack? Naruto questioned. The bird chirped in reply. Oi! Naruto said, caressing the back of his large owl summon. We need to hurry towards Konoha now. He said. As you command. The owl said, flapping his wings to change the direction towards Konoha. Naruto was flying around, searching for more Zetsu camps when a sparrow came onto his shoulder and informed him of the ongoings in Konoha. So, abandoning the mission based on his priorities, he decided to rush towards Konoha. I suppose this was expected. He sighed out. XX. Chidori Senbon. Sasuke said, releasing Senbon made of lightning towards his sensei. With his Sharingan out, it was a no-brainer for Kakashi to dodge them and reply with a hail of kunai. Of course, as an Uchiha, Sasuke was no slouch at using his own Sharingan too. Taking the battle up a notch, Sasuke summoned 2 Fuma Shuriken from the seal on his hands and launched them towards Kakashi. Kakashi managed to dodge them well enough, but was not able to counter it when Sasuke used the strings attached to them to pull them back, and got stabbed. Of course, Sasuke did not need to see the poof of smoke to realize that the one who got stabbed was a clone. But, he was not ready to get pulled down into the ground by the real Kakashi. Flipping backwards after realizing that the one in ground was an illusion, Kakashi strained his Sharingan eye to look for his wavered pupil. Chidori! Sasuke shouted, free-falling towards Kakashi from the sky with a Chidori in hand. Earth style, Earth Dome. Kakashi countered, a dome of earth covering Kakashi. Flipping backwards, Sasuke's body started to get surrounded by a purple aura. I will show you what a true Sharingan can do, Kakashi. Sasuke said, a purple skeleton protecting him. What is this? Kakashi questioned. This is called the Susanoo, the true power of a real Uchiha. He said, straining his eyes further as an armor surrounded the skeleton. Take this. He shouted, his armor forming an arrow and shooting it towards Kakashi at speeds that a normal eye cannot follow. Kamui. Kakashi countered, blood erupting from his eye as a vortex opened in front of him that absorbed the arrow. The Mangekyo? Sasuke questioned. Indeed. Kakashi replied, strain of using the Mangekyo audible in his voice. It looks like yours drains a lot of chakra. Sasuke said. Amaterasu. He shouted, blood erupting from his eyes like Kakashi, as black, inextinguishable flames were launched towards Kakashi. Gaining control of his body again, Kakashi flipped back to avoid getting burned, but there was no rest for him as a large, purple hand smashed towards where he had landed. To avoid getting flattened like a bug, Kakashi continued to flip backwards until he got an opportunity to breath. Kamui. Kakashi shouted, creating an opening in Sasuke's Susanoo and launching a hail of kunai towards it. Unsuspecting of such a possibility, Sasuke was too surprised to dodge the attack, and got stabbed right into the stomach. As common as the kunai were, a sharp edge was dangerous for any human. With such injuries, even Sasuke with Orochimaru's cells needed some time to recover, hence, his Susanoo vanished like it never existed. Seizing the opportunity and strengthening his resolve, Kakashi charged a Chidori in his hand and lunged towards his once pupil. I am sorry, Sasuke, he said. XX. Chapter 38. I am sorry, Sasuke. Kakashi said as he rushed towards his student, his hands blazing blue, prepared to do the worst deed. Chidori! He shouted, thrusting his hand towards his once pupil's chest. Now, he is a very valuable investment of mine. Kakashi heard, as he realized that he had phased through his student. Turning back, Kakashi was met with a white mask. Who are you? Kakashi questioned, fighting his exhaustion as he flipped back to a comfortable distance. I thought a well-reputed ninja like yourself will not forget such an important name. The masked man replied. I am prone to forget useless things. Kakashi said in reply. Well, let me remind you then. I am Uchiha Madara, the one who initiated this state of war. He said. Ah, the imposter? Kakashi questioned. Deny the facts and you will never be able to see the reality as it is. Madara said. Well, I suppose I will cross-check your intel after I kill you. Kakashi said, lunging towards the alleged Madara. Bold of you to assume that a borrowed Sharingan can match my power. Madara said, as he phased through Kakashi's Chidori. We will see that, won't we? Kakashi said, preparing to fight with his exhausted body. XX. These creatures just would not stop coming, sensei. Lee said. Pull through, my pupil. Only with such harsh fights can you hope to become the greatest you can be. Guy replied. Of course, Guy-sensei. I will not disappoint you. Lee shouted, as he prepared to charge towards the next wave of the white Zetsus. Lava-style, magma bullets. A voice came from above, as hot, molten bullets started to rain from the air towards the horde of Zetsus. You can go now, Naruto said, landing down from the owl. What is going on here? He asked as he turned towards Guy. Ah, Naruto. It looks like we must fight with all our youth to fight off the invaders. Guy exclaimed. We are being invaded. Niji simplified the sentence after realizing that Team Guy was the only team that actually understood what Guy speaks. I see. What is the attack pattern? Naruto questioned again, looking around to make sure that there were no Zetsus sneaking around. Master Jiraiya is fighting the snake summons, Kakashi was fighting Sasuke when I saw him last and we were managing the white creatures. Guy explained in a surprisingly normal voice. I see. You guys go ahead and help Jiraiya, I will look out for Kakashi. Naruto said and disappeared, not giving any time to Team Guy to counter what he had said. XX. So, he can phase through anything, but the catch is that he cannot attack anyone while he is phasing through something. Kakashi thought, analyzing his opponent. Things were looking bad for Kakashi. He was bleeding from head to toe while his enemy looked pristine enough to attend a meeting with the daimyo. But, the fact remained that he had to continue to fight or die trying. Kamui. He said again, pushing all the chakra and concentration he had left within himself into his Sharingan eye. Kamui was the only attack that Madara was actually defending against. Thinking that the attack was directed towards him, like before, Obito prepared to get out of the way of the portal that was about to be summoned, but his eyes widened in anger when he looked back towards Sasuke's body, which was now missing a head. How dare you? He shouted in rage, charging towards the now exhausted Kakashi. Even in rage and anger of seeing his plans fall apart, Obito was keen enough to notice the purple ball of destruction falling towards him from the sky. Rasengan! Naruto shouted, smashing the land below him after phasing through the alleged Madara. Realizing that he did not hit his target, Naruto grabbed Kakashi by his collar and flipped backwards to avoid getting sneak attacked. Can you fight? Naruto questioned. I cannot. In fact, I cannot even stand straightly without support. Kakashi replied. I still have not found a breakthrough against his intangibility. So unfortunately, you will have to fight. Naruto said. I would be glad to help, but I am restricted by my body. Kakashi stated. Well, I guess I will have to take him on by sheer speed, then. Naruto murmured. Crawl yourself out of here, things are going to get ugly now. He said to Kakashi. How sweet of you. Kakashi said, covering his Sharingan eye to preserve some much-needed chakra. Quite bold of you to come face me like a man. Are you prepared to die already? Madara questioned. Believe me, you are not even a match for me. All you are is a one-trick pony, and I will break through that soon enough too. Naruto said as a golden cloak started to surround him. A moment later, his eyes shined brighter, the only indicator of him tapping into the Sage mode. As a consequence of tapping into the Sage mode with chakra of all the Bijou, his long cloak became shorter until it was little more than a jacket, and 9 black balls adorned his back. Vuvuha-a? Obito was cut mid-sentence as Naruto punched him straight on his mask, untraceable even with his Manjikyu. You are definitely not Madara. Naruto said, seeing Madara's scarred face as the shattered mask fell apart. How are you? Obito was cut off once again, this time due to a punch to his stomach. You know what? I really don't care as of who you are, you have been a nuisance for me long enough. He said, summoning one of the black ball in his hand and covered it with lava. How about you die now? Naruto asked, launching the deadly ball of magma towards Obito. XX. I suppose it is done now. Orochimaru murmured. Zetsu! He shouted, causing the white creature to grow out from the ground. Yes? Get me the body and the sacrifice. I think I am done with the modifications. He said. Well, if you are sure. Zetsu murmured, disappearing into the same ground again. XX. Chapter 39. XX. How about you die now? Naruto asked, launching the deadly ball of magma towards Obito. Being in his 6 paths mode, Naruto was just too fast for Obito. Unable to sense or see him, and not being fast enough to use his Kamui or Izanagi, Obito could do nothing but melt away from the heat of the magma that covered him once the Rasengan expanded. We never got to know who he was. Kakashi said, limping on one leg towards Naruto. Do I look like I care? Naruto questioned, moving towards Kakashi, his hands glowing green. You really don't, and I wonder if that is a good thing or not. Kakashi said, the soothing sensation of the 6 paths chakra healing him, relaxing his body. I don't see how it concerns you in any way. Naruto replied, apparently done healing Kakashi. So, is it over then? Kakashi questioned. I don't think so. I sense a large reserve of chakra being summoned nearby. Naruto replied. Shall we be on our way then? Kakashi questioned again. Yes. You, towards Konoha. And I, towards the enemy. Naruto said, preparing to leave. Ah, that is not how it works, Naruto. I am coming too. Kakashi said, I smiling. That was not a request. Naruto said, disappearing from where he previously was in a split second. A sigh escaped from Kakashi's lips. I suppose I will do as you say. Kakashi said to no one. XX. Summoning, impure world reincarnation. Orochimaru said, beginning to form the log sequence required to use the reincarnation jutsu, but before he could begin with the tiring process, a golden blur burst into the underground hideout by splitting apart the ceiling. Stopping his hand signs halfway through and creating a distance between himself and the intruder, Orochimaru took a good look at the glowing person. Orochimaru! A black creature shouted, stumbling into the cave. I cannot sense Obito anymore. He exclaimed without sensing the tension in the room. I suppose we have the suspect right in front of us, Zetsu. Orochimaru said, guiding the black creature's vision towards Naruto. The last time I saw you, you were only half black. Naruto said. Well, you see. Zetsu was cut off mid-sentence, literally. I don't really care, I am getting tired now. Naruto sighed. You are the last one now, I guess. He murmured, looking towards the white snake. Now. I hope you understand that I, too, was forced to work under the mastermind. Orochimaru said slyly, realizing that his prowess faded in front of his enemy. You are a known enemy of the leaf regardless, and unless you go out of this cave alive, no one will know if you were with that Madara guy willingly or not. Naruto replied. Kukuku. How very dubious of you. Surely you would not fall to such an extent, right? Orochimaru questioned, raising his hands as a sign of surrender. As Orochimaru's hands raised, 3 chains shot out of Naruto, binding Orochimaru. Oh, so you are going to hand me to Konoha now? Orochimaru questioned, eager to at least make it out alive. No, I am just relieving you off of your chakra. We would not want you to slither into another body after I kill you now, would we? Naruto said. And, true to what he had said, Orochimaru could feel his chakra leaving his body. Damn you Dashta! Orochimaru shouted, panic visible on his face for the first time. And, fortunately for the world, these were the last words that the snake had spoken. XX. Ah, I suppose I can spend some time with Shizen now. XX.